Hello, everyone. Hi, how's everyone doing?
Hey, happy Friday the 13th.
I know we were having a little struggle moment before we went live. So, thank you for your patience as always. And hello, Shabaka. How are you today, honey? Hello, No More Lies. Okay. So, hello, Manon. So, yeah. Hello, honey. So, before we begin, as always, I'd like to tap on the meditation symbol and do three deep cleansing breaths because we're going to need it this time, guys. We're
Yeah,
going to need it.
we need it.
Where's my bowl? Okay. All right. So welcome, Sunny.
Thank
And
you. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's hanging in there.
I know. So, honey, without further ado, let's go straight into
Just get
like
her done.
this energy for this weekend and whatever is to come, right?
Yes, yes. And instead of doing much of a history dive this evening, I brought up some celebrity charts that we're going to talk about a little bit too. But
Oh, very interesting.
so on the 15th, which is Sunday on the West Coast, the full moon lunar eclipse is at 9:14 p.m. And on the West Coast, it's at 12:14 a.m. on the 16th. So it's a 25 degrees Scorpio holding hands with the South Node. So this is all about things from the past being purged, depending on what Scorpio does in your chart, moon, sun, rising, or placements, um, the things that develop over the next couple of weeks actually will have an influence of about 6 months. And I said that and I realized that's probably not what you wanted to hear.
Now, honestly, I channeled 6 months in my readings
Okay.
midweek, so you're on point with what I actually intuitively
There's a
saw.
lot going on other than just the eclipse. The full moon is making a square aspect to Saturn, who is our disciplinarian. And Scorpio is a very intense, penetrating kind of energy. It's a water fixed sign. It's considered the powerhouse of the zodiac. These are very psychic people. Um, they can, read people's minds. They can feel what other people are feeling. They can hear from other dimensions. So it's an extremely psychic energy. And so with this full moon in the sign of Scorpio, all the things Scorpio represents is going to be even more intensified.
Mhm.
So things like the reproduction system and elimination. So also, the moon will be trining Mars. A long time ago, in ancient times, Mars ruled Scorpio. And in 1930, when Pluto was discovered, they designated Pluto as the Scorpio rulership. However, looking at both Mars and Pluto as ruling Scorpio is what we do. And that is the god of war and regeneration. So, symbolized by the scorpion, the animal itself, if you were to approach it with fire to set it on fire, it will sting itself to death before it allows you to set it on fire. As a human expression, that is about self sabotage. So, where Scorpio is the most instinctual energy of the zodiac, the battle for Scorpio is to learn moderation, because it can be a very extreme energy because of the intensity that they feel. And so, being aware of things and patterns that you might do to sabotage your success, or keep yourself blocked in. Scorpios can spend long periods of time alone. They're definitely like a spiritual monk kind of energy. They get a bad rap about being, sexy and loose because they rule the reproductive parts of the body, but really it's about extremes. Scorpios can either be extremely promiscuous or celibate. So there's very little in between. They look for spirituality with sexual relations. So uh, it can be expressed either by that base instinct of procreation, me woman, you man, drag off to the cave, or it can be multidimensional, and your energy traveling multi parallel universes and galaxies. So it's a very extreme energy. With the trine to Mars, that's going to take a little bit of the edge off. And
Mhm.
trines to Mars will make people feel energetic to get things done. Full moons basically bring cycles to completion. And every time there's an end in a cycle, there's a new beginning. So, over the next week, this would be a good time to resurrect an old project that you left behind. The one cautionary thing that I'm probably going to repeat way too much this evening, but this is not a time to procrastinate. And Scorpio is famous for procrastinating, or sticking their head in the sand, or I just don't want to deal with that. And this energy is really positive for address the thing that you fear the most. Um, Scorpio is about not being afraid to see the dark child within yourself. We all have a dark child and a light child in our being. So, Scorpio is like the private detective. They like to know uh, the
Everything.
burning mystery, and trying to figure out what makes things tick. And so they're more apt to not be afraid to face their fears. And
Mhm.
that can freak people out around them who do not have that kind of energy. Um, what I've noticed over the years, Scorpios tend to find each other. They're very deep thinkers. They are telepathic. So a lot of times with other Scorpios, they don't even have to say words. They just have a nonverbal communication that again freaks people out who do not have that kind of energy. And so that's why they can also spend time alone. It's also symbolized by the phoenix rising from the ash. So that Pluto regeneration and burning things down to start over. The promise of Pluto is that it always rebuilds back better that which it destroyed. So it's a scary time to let things go that feel familiar, to step off that cliff and not know what you're facing. And those are the types of fears that I think we're all here to power through, because that is the spiritual journey, is being honest with ourselves about what we do in our behaviors and with relationships with family, friends, lovers, co-workers, that manifest the things that happen to us. You might have the same pattern at work, or a lover, and they have a different face, but the pattern is the same. So this is a
Mhm.
time to really, you know, also being near bodies of water. And, if you can't physically get to a body of water, meditating about being around water, or showers or baths, but that helps soothe this sort of achy, heartbreaking kind of energy where, you might not like some of the things you see about yourself when you look at the dark child. And
Mhm.
I think that part of the twin flame journey is just that, is people trigger each other to see the darkness and the wounds, the childhood wounds, and negative behavior patterns. And a negative expression of Scorpio can be very controlling and manipulative. So if you've been around people who, you know, are always trying to manipulate things and control people, uh, that is a negative expression of Scorpio. And the positive expression would be enlightenment and spiritual journey. So, the other really interesting part of this lunation is the planet Mars is conjunct Neptune. So that's a very, that's all about shamanic practices, the shaman, shape shifting. So it's really allowing your mind and heart to be open. When we carry around negative baggage of emotions in our heart about past relationships that where we felt betrayed or let down or taken advantage of, any of the negative expressions that we all have been through with romantic relationships, that negativity in our heart can make us manifest it more. So
Mm-hmm.
this eclipse, it's a full lunar eclipse, is the opportunity to let the baggage go. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the higher vibration of the spiritual journey, that you're not, you know, rehashing the same argument that you've had with your partner, you know, for 10 years or whatever. I mean, there's just
Mm-hmm.
certain people that we come across in life that, and that's something about Scorpio. They never forget anything, but they have to learn to show compassion and not be so controlling about how people react. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's a very challenging time if you want to really heighten your vibration. It would be very easy to stay kind of down in the dumps and um, um, procrastinate. So remember, Scorpio is about extremes. So, you know, those of us that meet in these kinds of genres are probably, you know, wanting to drop our baggage and be on a more higher love type spiritual path. It can be very hard to love and forgive someone that, you know, has stabbed you in the heart or stolen or taken from you, or, you know, whatever the situation is. We, you know, I think everybody's been through some of all of it. And
Mm-hmm.
if we're really honest with ourselves, whoever we're doing the dance with to bring up these feelings have been through it too. So
Right.
the fact that we haven't been on the same page at the same time doesn't make one person or the other better or worse. So shape shifting, time travel has been in my reality this week, and, you know, like almost daily. And I've always said, when I get messages more than 3 times, it's something that it's a message I need to bring. So that is Mercury, Jupiter. And this is what I'm talking about, a higher vibration in quantum physics with this energy. And that's the positive way to express it, is knowing that what we see and what we think we know are not as they appear, and being willing, you know, to have an open mind. You have to have an open heart. If your heart is closed and, you know, angry, you can't open your mind to allow all of those fantastical. This energy is very science fiction like. I don't know if everyone's been noticing in the headlines, there's more and more about time travel. There's more and more about life on in other galaxies. I mean, this is all the times we're in. It's going to get more and more expressive with space travel. Um, you know, and who knows what's being manipulated with the photos that we see from Mars. You know, they were talking about um, some old vehicle on Mars. Who knows if that's a manipulation or not? That's something we have to be very cautious of. And that's where Scorpio's instinct is right on the money. And
Hmm.
if you're honest with yourself, every time we've ignored our instinct, we've gone the wrong way. And so, learning to trust what your gut feeling tells you, regardless of what anyone around you is telling you. This might also be a time, with the square to Saturn, that you might see yourself um, separating from a friend group that doesn't want to ascend or be enlightened, or
Hmm.
think you're crazy because you have spiritual beliefs that make them uncomfortable. Scorpios are very much a teacher kind of philosopher energy. Um, so also, there's just so many shifts of energy coming up over the next week. We're going to all have a lot of physical sensations trying to adjust to the change of vibration that we are feeling from the planets and us here on Earth. And so next week, Friday, the sun moves into Gemini. So that's a very, we'll be leaving the Earth energy of Taurus, going into an air energy of Gemini. That's probably going to make a lot more social media news and learning
So
information.
news is gonna be popping next week, right? We're
I
gonna.
think so, because also on the 22nd, so Mercury's retrograde right now, and so it'll be
Mhm.
backing back up into Taurus. So that also is, we talked a lot about Taurus last night, and Scorpio Taurus is the axis. So they each draw on some of those same vibrations of energy, the
Mhm.
dark. Um, I do have some charts for more high profile things going on, and I'll just mention like this whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. If you look more closely at it, it is not what it appears. But the fact that they're bringing up onto television in a legal proceeding that someone pooped in somebody's bed, that's totally
Sorry.
Scorpio. Scorpio is all about wanting to talk about elimination, your bodily functions. Scorpios think really weird things about bodily functions. You're almost like afraid to share what some of the things, dark things, the more and more coming out about abuses and child trafficking. I don't know if
Mhm.
anybody saw the story about a couple who allowed their daughter for like 14 years to just deteriorate on the sofa. They would like go off and travel, and the girl was disabled, and she just actually decomposed into the sofa.
Oh
So
my god. So
Scorpio
did the
is,
parents get arrested for that?
yes, they have been. They were on a cruise
Okay.
ship, yeah. And
Jesus.
so that kind of death, uh, decomposition of the body, all very Scorpio. Now, you know me, I'm never sure where I'm going to go with these chats. So, this book, I won. You know how people say, I never win anything. I won, and I'm one of those people. I won this book in 1994 at an astrology conference. It was a raffle. I'm heavy Scorpio energy, and this book is called The Astrology of Death,
Oh
and it's
wow.
by Richard Hawk. That's another thing about Scorpios that makes other people uncomfortable, is the fascination with the life, death, life cycle.
Mhm.
Scorpios can deal with some
Yeah.
pretty, mm, you know, hurt, like forensics. So
Right.
probably a lot of,
CSI type shit.
yeah, yeah.
Body
So
parts all over the place.
right, right. And so uh, when I won this, it was just so apropos because um, I have always studied a lot about uh, doing charts when people die and trying to have their time of death. And now I'm not going to say that this is some hard proven theory, but I do think it's worthy mentioning. I don't know, and nothing is absolute, but the chart is almost like a gear with many moving parts, the
Mm-hmm.
transits, the progressions, um, and the chart of someone who's died compared to their birth chart are eerily similar. Almost like
Mm-hmm.
you check in, and when all those planets come around to the exact place where they were when you were born, you check out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very bizarre thing for anybody to study. Um, so, and this book, one of the things that is in here, I don't know if everyone remembers when Eric Clapton's son Connor ran and jumped off the 53rd floor in New York of an apartment, and he was 3 years old and he died. So he was like playing and 3 years old, and I guess he thought he was Superman, and no one was watching him, and he flew out the window and he dropped to his death. Well, those charts are in here for both Eric Clapton, the mother, and the child. So, what one of the points that they make is you can read the death of someone from like the relatives chart. Like, if you had someone commit suicide, you could probably pick that up in your chart and not just the person who's dead's chart. So, family units and their charts are connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's eerie how women, mothers, have like degrees of their children.
Hmm.
And so that's a really, that's a macabre part of this lunation.
Like I'm
So,
in a bucket.
yeah,
How do I sound now? Does it sound better? Do I sound like I'm in a bucket? Or is that better?
it sounds a little different than it usually does. This talking about Eric Clapton, that's when he wrote the song Tears from Heaven that was about the death of Connor, his boy.
Oh,
So, very scorpionic. Um, and maybe if anyone, maybe that can be part of the poll you do. If anyone would like to take a deep dive in that Eric Clapton and his child running off of the balcony on the 53rd floor. So then we also have May 24th, Mars changes sign and goes into Aries. It's at home in Aries. So that is even, giving more energy to um, standing your ground. Mars and Aries can be argumentative. It can get things done. That's what I mean about over the next 6 months. Anything anyone's been procrastinating, um, this is a time to, you know, get moving, deal with whatever that thing is that's either too dark or too painful.
okay.
Uh,
Hold on 1 second, because I want to figure this out.
oh,
Shabaka,
I'm sorry.
the mic has less sound than two tomato counts in a string. Are you referring to Sunny or are you referring to me? Who has the mic? Because I want to address this. I don't know. I'm a tech geek, so
Yeah, yeah. It's probably mine. I have had equipment issues. And I tend to start mumbling when I get into things. I'll mumble and not articulate really
I
clearly.
want to make sure that everyone can hear, so that if we're playing it back and we can't hear, then
It
mine.
says, yeah.
Okay. Does it sound okay?
Now I can hear you fine, but we probably have a different connection than from the connection to the chat.
Does it sound okay now?
Keep talking.
Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. We were talking about Eric Clapton.
And tears for
Mike was muffled. Guest speaker was is clear. Scorpio and okay, Mike is muffled. That's very interesting. I don't know. Is it too close? Is this too much? It echoes.
Hmm.
Oh, I know. Hold on. I know. I was on. This is what I was talking about. I was on the thing with the notary. I know what it is. I got it.
You
I got
stayed
it.
open somewhere.
Yeah, I was using the camera mic instead of my desktop mic. Hello. Can you hear me? Does it sound better? More treble sound? Hello, hello. I
Is
mean,
that
I'm not the one who's really talking anyway.
I
Can you
talk
guys
too much when it
can,
comes to
can you
this
guys
stuff.
hear me now? We're good? Yes? All right. Yay. All right, continue, honey.
So you know how I always seem to like come up with some movie that explains the combination of energies, and I don't know why this movie came to my head, but I have to share it. It's an old movie called Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah.
It was a crazy movie. I mean, you had ghosts, you had time travelers, you had all kinds of weird stuff. And that is a very good explanation for this lunation over the next few weeks is just kind of crazy. Um, Things, might seem one way and then you get a surprise that it's another way. So Beetlejuice might be a way to bring some levity to your days because all in all, it is a funny movie, even though it's kind of crazy and weird. So yeah, this is about walking through the dark night of the soul and being able to face the dark child within you. And as
Mhm.
you and I were talking before we came live, you almost have to go through that in order to burn it away. You have to have known the darkness so that you can embrace the light and reach your potential. That's why this next 6 months is really battle your tendency to procrastinate. If you're
Mhm.
procrastinating things, this is a really positive shift in our world, even though going through it is difficult. And so that's when breathing exercises, getting next to water, meditation practices, clearing your energy when you've been around a lot of negativity, and not being afraid to walk away from people who make you feel negative, right? There's just certain people we always have had around that you can call them negative Nelly or something, but they'll say no to everything and they'll shoot down any idea you have. You need to be around people. We all need to be around people that support our journey. So if you're on a spiritual journey and you're trying to heal from a lot of old baggage from your family and childhood and adult relationships, you need to be around people who don't judge you for that. And
Mhm.
that can be hard because a lot of times it's the people closest to us judging us. And when you try to say you need to, walk away from that old friend or walk away from that, crazy uncle or whoever it is, that's the Scorpio instinct. If your instinct, if you get a bad feeling around somebody, that's your instinct. And
Right.
this is about listening to that. And so, yeah, the eclipse triggers the light into dark. And if you avoid, if you continue to procrastinate and avoid trying to do the work, the spiritual work, that pattern will just continue on to the next life. And that's okay
You know
too.
what? I actually channeled that too, but not into the next life. I was saying that the next retrograde cycle.
Oh, yeah. Same thing. Yeah. Retrogrades always bring back stuff from the past. And it can
Right.
be this past life, and it can also be uh, this life or actual past lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a little brief note about the mythology about Scorpio. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with it because it does kind of repeat when we talked about Artemis, the virgin huntress. That's very
Mm-hmm.
Scorpion. Um, Orion was a giant son of Poseidon, which is Neptune. And he was very handsome and he was very arrogant and he was very boastful, and there's several versions of the story, but basically he proclaimed to Gaia, Earth Mother, that he was the best hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And that really ticked off Gaia, and she created a giant scorpion to go and kill Orion. And so they both died in that struggle. And from the ashes, they were made constellations. So again, that pattern of something having to die to be reborn.
Right.
And anybody who's heavy Scorpio energy, that's almost your life. It's uncanny how it's almost like you're here to just be able to roll with the flow, that there will be endings and beginnings ongoingly. And if you're seeking for something to stay the same, or be some, you know, um, that's the real frustration is, you want something solid and secure, but maybe the spiritual journey of Scorpio is to see a deeper side of life and like face their fears about death, or um,
Or
think about,
change.
yeah, or think about, what do you feel about death? I mean, if you're scared of death, why? That's that penetrating analysis of a Scorpio mind is, whatever it is you're scared of, ask yourself, what are you scared of? And what comes to mind is just an excellent meditation. If you can't get near water, or, uh, and we've talked about this before, but it's the peeling of the onion, because that is the spiritual journey. You peel the onion layer to layer. You start with the first layer, and you try to remember the earliest memory as a child that hurt you. And you just start coming up through your life with everything that you've perceived someone hurt you. And that's the thing, is learning that basically people are good and don't set out to be horrible to you. Our experiences and our baggage project onto people what you did to me. You did to me what the other one did to me, blah, blah, blah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're having to purge here and eliminate, so that we can feel more light. And there's an old Egyptian tale. I forget the queen's name, but basically she was at the door of death and would weigh your heart to a feather. And
Mm-hmm.
so, the idea is to have your heart light, so that on that Libran scale, you're balanced. Your heart is as light as that feather. If it's heavy, you have work to do, right? And
I
that,
actually have a good visual of what you're talking about. Go
cool.
ahead. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
was the,
this
yes,
perfect, isn't it?
perfect. What deck is that?
This is called Law of Attraction Tarot. It is by Lo Scarabo.
Nice.
Yeah, I love this deck. I was using it this week to pull out the dark.
Well, so we talked about maybe coming up with some names of high profile people that we could analyze their chart and watch in the news. And I started thinking about that a little bit, because I don't want to get in trouble about calling people names, or you know, uh,
You don't want
asserting
to go
things.
Scorpio on
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. This is all just, this is all entertainment for fun and just, my opinion. This is nothing I'm trying to say definitively about anybody.
Okay, we got it.
So, great leaders over history have always had astrologers. There's always been a mystique about using the stars in your birth chart to determine what actions you should take, whether it was the kings of old time figuring out when to move on their enemy for war and territory, or if it was about planting crops. So, um, I guess the most modern, well, not real modern, but I remember, all of the hubbub about Nancy Reagan had a personal astrologer, and Ronald Reagan getting shot was pretty easy to find in his chart. And a lot of great leaders have always withheld their time of day because they really don't want to be analyzed or tracked. And
Hmm.
the connection that the time of day or birth date, birth time has to do with a chart has to do with the accuracy of the rising sign. So the rising sign, the sign on the eastern horizon at the moment you were born, changes every 4 minutes. So we can get pretty close to an analysis, but that's why the timing can be off because you might see something's going to happen in a few months and it doesn't. It could correlate to the birth time is not accurate. There is a process called rectification. It's a lengthy process. I've done it hundreds of times when people don't know their exact time, but it is very time consuming. Basically, how you rectify a chart is you work with the individual to get a list of separations. Those are oppositions, and those are the way of dialing in major life events.
Just
Um,
to kind of guesstimate what their
right.
birth
There's a
time would be.
software that,
Okay.
rectifies. So, like, you can change minute by minute that rising. And uh, so, um, things like surgery, having a baby, losing a parent, having a bad accident. So once you have the dates of major events, you know, you can, work with that person to shift that wheel around because when those major events happen, they were major oppositions because or planets transiting an angle of a chart.
Hmm.
So I say all of this because Elon Musk, I can't find his birth time anywhere. And there are astrology websites that, verify birth data of different people. And there's
You
always
mean
sort of
you couldn't ask his mama?
yeah, yeah. So, there's sort of a process with astrologers about when they get birth data for a high profile person, is it certified or is it conjecture? So all I could find out about Elon Musk is, let's see, he has I'm sorry, sun in Cancer, moon in Virgo, and this eclipse is conjunct his 727-degree Jupiter. So he's having a full moon lunar eclipse on his Jupiter. That's huge, huge expansion. So he's the inventor, the investor, SpaceX, the electric car, Tesla.
Hmm.
There's been a lot of speculation about, where is he from? Is he a time traveler? Is he Tesla that has come back? So he is definitely and like I said, I didn't have a time prepare more about these individuals. You said maybe would do a poll with some names. And so I just picked some ones that were kind of trending in the news right now. And, but we can go deeper into it. So, you know, he, in the last day, there's this news headline about he may not go through with his $40 billion deal to buy Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that it was him against Bill Gates, right?
Well, it was about due diligence. So
Oh,
they had a letter of intent for him to buy it, and then he gets to research, like their stock prices and what they're
and it was
carrying
like
on the books.
$44 a share.
Yeah, and Dorsey, the old CEO, basically was
Mhm.
quoted saying Twitter doesn't really need a CEO. So there's some really weird things going on with that social media platform, which is very indicative of the combination of energies we're in. And for this lunation to be conjunct a big planet like Jupiter in somebody's chart, I think we're going to ultimately find out some big truth. There's something big that'll happen. Jupiter
Mhm.
expands. At one point he was saying he was going to buy it only to dismantle it. And there's some pretty diabolical people that work there about censorship and, um, stepping all over
Well,
our
I just know that there's a certain few elite that don't like him in there
right,
with
right.
that much.
Because
Um,
he supposedly, and I would like to go more into his chart, but it's frustrating when you don't have the time because you could spend a lot of time on a chart that,
well, honey, just take your time and see all his major events. He's all
yeah,
over the
yeah,
freaking place, and there's him with his wife and multiple wives that he's had, and all
yeah,
that. I also found out that he has like was it Asperger's, which is
right,
like a high
right,
functioning autism, which I
right,
actually felt that he was autistic before I knew he was autistic
right,
because of how he talked. It's like
right,
he talks very autistic like, and I
yeah,
didn't know that until I actually came across something with him because it's very similar to my son.
and they're
And
very intelligent,
yeah,
and
because when
high
my son was
intelligence.
young, he was an engineer. He was always constantly being very creative, very innovative, always like building mechanical stuff. So I always thought that he would be an engineer. But as he progressed into his later years, he's 19 now, he's lost that ability to innovate and create.
Mhm.
And with COVID and stuff like that, like he hasn't been as creative. So I definitely have noticed that since we've actually moved from North Carolina to Washington, he hasn't been very innovative.
Well,
It's,
it could be climate. There's quite a difference in the climate
oh, he
between,
likes it hot. He likes
right,
Arizona, Texas.
right, right.
But yeah,
Well,
I just found a very like similarities with my son and Elon actually.
he's a very interesting person to watch. And
Mhm.
now that I've got sort of the basis of his chart, um, I'll try to put some more together and maybe we can study that and analyze it when whatever this big thing is going to happen happens.
Well, let's do some predictions before they do happen. You want
Well,
to do some predict?
I believe something is going to blow up with Twitter. I don't know if it's
Hmm.
going to be dismantled. I think it might be bought up by another social media platform.
Hmm.
Um, so the problem is, you know, with the censorship and different ones can put crazy stuff out there on it and people believe it to be the truth in the news.
Well,
And
that's the thing with social media. It's I call it a WMD. Basically, it's a propaganda machine.
well, and some other thing I was seeing about one of the interviews where, a young person was saying to their dad something about, and the dad was like, well, where'd you hear that? I was like, on TikTok.
Mm.
TikTok is another social media that I feel like is getting ready to implode. There's something It may be because it's owned by a foreign country and has
Hmm.
infiltrated um,
United
things here.
States.
Um, and let me move over to the FBI on that, because we've also had a whistleblower coming out about illegal investigations of news media outlets. And so this lunation in the next 6 months also equates to huge government scandal. So
Hmm.
we've just broken the tip of the iceberg with what's been coming out lately. There's a whole lot more coming out. And, Scorpio wants the truth. It's about
Hmm.
integrity. That's why going through the dark night of the soul, facing your dark child, and coming out the other end a a more compassionate person, um, that's part of this year, 2022,
Hmm.
is things that people have used to hide behind, like material possessions or um, fake relationships, fake masks. Scorpio tears all of that down. And so,
I hate to interject, but I
no,
was
it's
talking
okay.
about that yesterday.
Well, no, it's nice to know it's confirmed when more than one person is saying it.
Hmm.
Um, so, yeah, you're bringing up Twitter showing X-rated things. So there's a lot coming out sexually, which is
Hmm.
very Scorpion.
Hmm.
And it was a study about how 70% of people are addicted to sex or pornography.
Hmm.
For that to come out as a news story is very Scorpion, okay? Because what do we like to do in sort of a Victorian society is we don't want to talk about sex. Don't talk about
Hmm.
your privates. Don't go there. And so secretly people seek out these different sources to
To get their
entertain
fix.
themselves, I guess. Well, the thing when my brother died, he had a storage unit that his boss helped me clean out, and there were boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of pornography,
Oh my God.
CDs. You never seen so much in all your life. And
Hmm.
after about the 15th box, and these are big boxes just full of CDs, right? And we had sort of his boss and one of his coworkers and I were just kind of doing this conveyor belt to a truck or to the trash, or, pulling stuff out. This thing was a 12 by 12 storage unit stacked
Hmm.
to the top. And it kept being boxes of CDs of porn, all kinds
Hmm.
of porn. There was no like particular type of porn. It was everything. And at one point I was like, isn't this an unusual amount of porn? And his boss had been a police officer in one of his past jobs. And he said that when someone is gets into that much porn, that they felt they were not loved by their mother as a child. Well, of
Oh
course,
wow.
I'm the sister, and my mother loved my brother. I mean, he was spoiled, and she caught, made over him, and they were very close. And I'm like, my mother loved him. She never was mean to him or anything. And Jim said, yeah, but he didn't feel that he was loved by his mother. So,
Hmm.
it, and maybe some other things in his life formed that addiction.
Hmm.
And that's all very Scorpion. This is all very, the dark coming out, um, and facing it. If you have any kind of addiction, whether it's drugs or sex or anything, these are the energies to bring the truth out. you know you may find people finding out about whole other families they've created, like they're married and have a family and have another family over here.
Mm-hmm.
Those kinds of secrets is what Scorpio kind of, brings out to the light. And it can be traumatizing, it can be very upsetting. Um, but you have to kind of baptism by fire and get through that to get to the other side, to allow, that open heart that's cleansed, and uh, allow you to manifest and expand the things that do bring you fulfillment, and not staying stuck in the same, you know, behavior pattern. And so, yeah, a lot of government scandal under this kind of energy. So then I did Queen Elizabeth II. She was born in 1926. She has a Taurus sun, a Leo moon,
Wait,
and
1926?
yeah,
She's almost 100 years old.
yeah, she became queen in February of 1952. She's like the second longest reigning monarch.
I've always thought like she's really like hanging in there. Like what is
Right. Well, this she has a Capricorn rising. This eclipse is conjunct her Saturn.
mm-hmm.
So an eclipse holding hands with Saturn is a chronic health condition.
Mm.
So, she did not show up to the court, like to open parliament, which is one of her duties, the other day. Her son, Charles, took her place. She's not been seen in public for quite some time. And, I think we're going to hear about her passing very soon. Actually, I'm surprised we haven't already heard about it. But
Mm.
so I guess the reason, and Elon said something about, he had some tweet about he may mysteriously die or something like that. So I
Yeah,
was being drawn to these celebrities that, you know,
about death.
yeah, that whole death Scorpio thingamajob. And then I did the chart for the New York Stock Exchange and Wall
Oh,
Street.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, that is called mundane astrology, when you do charts of governments and countries and corporations, when they're born. And so I didn't know this, but that building, the address is number 11 Wall Street.
Let me tell you this. The new office that I moved into downtown Tacoma is right off of 11th Street.
Oh, so, that's kind of a nice confirmation. It is. Yeah, yeah,
That's just so weird. I mean, it's really A Street, but it's 11th. It intersects 11th Street.
yeah. I just see, um, speaking of Ashley Judd, Naomi Judd died in the last few days, and Wyona, her daughter, or no, Ashley, came out and made a statement that it was suicide. She shot herself with a gun,
No way.
and that they wanted to make a statement instead of the speculation, right?
They want to be the first to come out with it.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's very Scorpion, right? Suicide is a difficult, it's difficult. Any part
Mhm.
of it that you're connected to. And it's very Scorpion, and to bring it out for people to
See.
deal with, deal with, how does that make you feel?
Mhm.
Have you had suicidal thoughts in your life at some point? That's another part of that dark child,
Mhm.
and be honest, did you get somewhere in your life that was made you feel like giving up, and so these are all those kind of truths that this energy will make us face. And I guess I want to try to keep it a positive vibe, in that you always come out better on the other side. It's when you procrastinate and keep shoving stuff under the carpet that it's a crap show, right? You don't ever really move forward or get through that dark night of the soul. You just stay in some kind of stagnant material energy. This
Mhm.
energy is not stagnant.
Now that's why this week, I mean, I just went out on divine masculine, divine feminine, and really like ripping everybody the truth. And I had no filter. There was nothing. It was all coming out, and I was like, oh well, you could take it or leave it, But I knew it was going to be triggering, for the collective, and I did lose like a good number of subscribers. So, I mean, to me, it really doesn't matter because, as you know, I started off this channel for twin flames, and I really care about people, and, it's choice, do you want to move on or are you going to hold on to, like a person who's not showing up,
Right.
and that doesn't mean like letting them go forever for good. Just continue to live your life, but, don't hold any resentment or regret for
Right.
holding out for somebody for such a long time. It's not fair, you
It's
know?
part of the ego. So part of
Mhm.
getting through that dark night of the soul is letting go of pride and ego.
Right.
That's also part of opening your heart to be light, is that
Mhm.
you have I'm seeing here a comment. I'd love if you could also talk about black magic. I believe that happened to me last year. I had many suicidal thoughts.
Um,
Well, what I would say to that is on a daily basis to cleanse your aura and deflect any black magic or dark energies you feel are coming your way, because it is an energetic thing. This
mhm.
is about energy. This is about recognizing that we are water and electricity, and we can manifest either the good by having a light heart and purging negativity, or
Mhm.
we'll manifest crap because we're holding on to resentment and anger and the victim mode. I think some of your readings this week went into feeling like
Victim
a victim.
consciousness.
Right.
Mhm.
So, if you're feeling like there's some dark negative energy being sent your way, then you power up your light and, in prayer or meditation, whatever you're most comfortable with, make a conscious daily effort to sage your space. You can take a sage tincture under your tongue. So it's about keeping conscious of your aura. And I know that uh, I can go out in a large crowd, and I can tell when I get home I'm tired. Like I've taken on some kind of
Yeah.
negativity. It's just
Mhm.
overwhelming. And so a shower is a very simple thing you can do to cleanse your aura. Your bath bombs and the salt baths are a perfect tool for
Mhm.
keeping your energy cleansed. And it's very important that we do that, because there's a lot of stuff being revealed and coming out that nobody really wants to deal with. The
Right.
child sex trafficking is very Scorpion, and it is
Mhm.
coming out from underground. I mean, they're finding children that have been kept in cages underground coming out.
Mhm.
Um, so these, I know that I have people around me that when I bring this subject up, it's like, well, the world's just crazy, and I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, and they push it off to the
Well,
side.
yeah, we're in a time in our world where no, we
Yeah,
can't
now
keep
you go
pushing.
get them out of the freaking
Right,
tunnels or where the heck they are.
right.
You don't
And
just leave them. Oh, okay. Well, they're down there. That's just like that one time when I got bitten by a spider, and it was early in the morning, and I said, "Mom, I need to go to the hospital." She's like, "Okay. Well, I'm gonna take Casimir to the school," and I'm like, "I need to go ER."
I'm, and that's another part of this energy with the Neptune, Pluto, Saturn aspects with the Scorpio moon is poisons, gases. You might see a nuclear scare. um, was it last night or the night? I'm on the East Coast, and so
Mm-hmm.
Monkey Works has been doing several shows that shows a lot of military buildup on the East Coast, and it's kind of a mystery of why are all these military planes stacked up on the East Coast. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, I guess it was night before last. It was sort of in the middle of the night because I was sleeping, but it was so loud, it woke me. And I wanted to get up into the window, but I was just, I was just out. But it sounded like that movie Vietnam or Apocalypse Now. It was those low flying military planes. And
Okay, sounds like a cargo plane or
yeah,
something.
it's very scary because, there's stuff going on we don't understand, and a lot of manipulation. One of your people in your chat was talking about Mockingbird and the manipulation of the media. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully a lot of that will come out to more common folks who have for years sat in front of their TV and believed everything that they saw. So uh, that's going to be, all of us here collectively getting more comfortable saying the things nobody wants to say. That's a very
Mm-hmm.
Scorpion energy, right? I don't know about in your family and my family. Well, I was always the one that said what nobody wanted to say.
I was the rebellious mouth in
Yeah,
my
we want the
family.
truth. We want integrity.
Well, nobody. The problem is nobody didn't want to hear what we had to say.
I know, but at least we're saying it, and it's
Right.
it just is part of the energy and peeling away the layers of the onion to get to the truth of here. Let me say something here about Wall Street that I found very interesting.
Okay.
So Wall Street was born May 17th of the year 1792.
Mm.
The sun is in Taurus, which Taurus is financial and banking. The
Mm-hmm.
moon is in Cancer,
Mm-hmm.
which is tenacity.
Mm-hmm.
And the ascendant is Leo, which is love
Wow.
charge, right? So, and at the same, like, if you look at the longitude and latitude of where that building is, it's also directly related to the development of Manhattan. So,
Mm.
back in 1792, Wall Street started with selling human beings. It started with the
Slaves.
Indians,
Slaves. Oh, okay.
and then
Indians.
the Africans from Africa, and
Mm-hmm.
then children and people. So Wall Street's been in human trafficking since 1792.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the corporations and stocks that are exchanged today are shell corporations that are nothing more than corruption, right?
Right.
So we're gonna. it's taking a pretty big hit. Bitcoin has taken a big hit, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you let me put my tin hat on, I'll just mention that Nasara Jasara is about allowing the economy to burn down, which is Scorpio,
Mm-hmm.
to rebuild better because there's been so much corruption between the human trafficking and the manipulation of currency.
Mm-hmm.
Currency is also the electricity in our body. So there are
Mm-hmm.
these weird quantum physics kinds of connections when you look at the bigger picture. Wall Street is not just about investments and these crazy brokers screaming and throwing paper on the floor. When you look
Mm-hmm.
at where it started, it's a pretty corrupt organization and there's scandal there. So with this eclipse, and it is nosediving, and the crash that we had was October 29th of 1929. And that's when Mars was conjunct the sun and the planet Chiron was squaring the sun in Taurus. We have some of the very similar, we have a square to Saturn right now, and um, Chiron and Saturn are very similar energies. And what I want to say here is do not be afraid. This is all in a grand scheme of burning down things that no longer serve humankind and society to rebuild our more humane society. Because one of the
Mhm.
things that in that chart or for Wall Street was Venus, which is money, squaring
Mhm.
Saturn. And the interpretation of that is that whole organization was about making a profit at all costs without any regard to morals, morality, or human rights.
Mhm.
So, you know,
That sounds kind of demonic.
yeah. Well, and then you talk about the 13 bloodline families that have controlled the currency. So, my point is, although Scorpio can tear down and make us deal with some very difficult things, um, we have to get to the other side for it to get better. Pushing it
Mhm.
under the carpet, denying it, um, doesn't get us to a better space in our world. And it's hard to try and talk to people who just want to bury their head in the sand. Um, I live next door to someone who um, we're just diametrically different. And he's been doing some things, um, flying some particular flags and putting stickers on his car that I just want to tear into him, but we don't speak, so I don't have to do that. But my point is, there are going to be people who never believe that there's child sex trafficking and profiting by the highest ranks of our governments, and it's governments all over the world. And so, um,
Immediately, what I think are those crimes, missing kids
yeah,
on milk cartons, and like even the TV shows that we had before, like the programming got crazy, like crime scenes, uh, something
and
like
that
that.
who is that man with his little boy that started one of these crime? John Walsh. It ends up
Yes,
John
John Wall.
Walsh actually sold his child to
Oh, Jesus.
traffic, and his whole story is completely false. So things like that that people really don't want to believe, we've been tricked, okay? And our ego and our pride is going to go through this fire and brimstone to hold on to our beliefs and like, oh, but we have to be willing to let go of that stuff in our heart. We want a light heart. We want to balance our heart with the feather, right?
Mhm.
And so it's really interesting how these energies parallel with past times in our history, a little differently, but still, you know, it's fully anticipated that the stock market's going to crash. And what I want to say to the viewers is rejoice, because it's corruption at its height. It was
Mhm.
based on human trafficking from 1792. And it's been nothing but a manipulated corruption. And I don't know how many people out there have, lost. I don't know how many 401k accounts I've lost. You start at a job, you start with one, the market tanks. It's a huge manipulation. There's nothing fair, just, or truthful about it.
Mhm.
So if you start seeing, here's another thing that I've learned recently with this headline about a shortage of baby formula. Did,
Yes, I
did
talked
you
about
know?
that.
Did you know that baby formula has arsenic in it?
Mhm.
So why would
That
we
and
be
Mercury
concerned?
and all that
Right.
other stuff.
So why
Mhm.
would we I mean, isn't that something to celebrate? If people are
Yeah.
starting to like mash up carrots and potatoes and make their own baby food for their baby without any chemicals in it, isn't that something we should rejoice and celebrate? But
Mhm.
we've been manipulated so long to have these beliefs. And this scorpionic kind of energy is all about get to the truth, rip off the band-aid, pull your
Mhm.
head out of from under the sand and have to face it, and it is painful, and you might even physically feel pain just from the shifts of these energies, depending
It's
on how
not
sensitive.
easy. It's
It
not
isn't
easy.
easy, but
And
it's exciting. I mean, we are rebirthing our society to get to a place where people truly are treated equally and justly and morally. And
right.
um, it's hard for people to grasp, but government is, um, you know, not out for our best interest.
No, they're all for their own pockets.
And there's so much more to come out, and I'm excited about it. I get frustrated because, um, people don't, I want
They
to
don't want
talk.
to hear about
They,
it or
yeah,
like,
it's like, oh, that's crazy or whatever. I am in an office though now that basically we're like-minded. We're all just kind of waiting for the queen to die, the stock market to crash. Empty shelves in the grocery store could also be, in a positive way, looked upon that the deep state has been dismantled, and we're getting rid of the poisoned foods with all the manipulative hormones and genetic engineering, and that these manufacturers are starting to get back to the earth and producing healthy food that's not chemically manipulated. So the
mm-hmm,
next time you go into the store and feel scared because there's a shortage, let that go through your mind that, well, they're getting rid of the poison, and what
mm-hmm.
doesn't serve us and what's going to be replaced is healthy for us and much better. And I know that's kind of a brain twister, but I feel that with my whole heart. I mean, I
I do
really,
too. I
yeah,
told my brother that the same thing because he just had a baby. And I said, well, do you want to feed your daughter arsenic and mercury and stuff? I mean, look at my son. I gave him an example. And you don't want to feed her that stuff. And he was like, well, she doesn't produce enough. And I'm like, well, I can't help you there, but now's the time because he has a background in nutrition. I said, well, now's the time to formulate your own baby formula and make it just like there's that one movie where there's a lady who made applesauce and stuff, and she was a corporate lady, and she had like, this big job, and then she decided to just get out of it and get like an apple orchard, and she didn't know what to do with it, and she decided to can what is it, applesauce.
right. Well, that's what I was hearing on some local report about. What's so bad about people, learning how to mash up carrots and make their
No, we
own
got to
baby
get back
food?
to our roots and do like
Right,
important things like nutrition and doing what's good for our bodies. And,
right.
it's time to slow down. I get like, we're in the whole like tech age and stuff, but we're going too fast.
Yeah,
We're going too fast and a lot faster than what normal people can't really handle.
right,
I mean,
right.
imagine like since you were born and when I was
Yeah,
born, imagine how much technology has changed in a very short period of
it
time.
has. It really has.
I
And
mean, yeah,
it's really an exciting time when you can just kind of get out of the head and be okay with seeing things deconstruct, because that is the promise of Pluto. It will rebuild back better that which it destroys. And so, another analogy that keeps coming to my mind, if you've ever driven a stick shift car, you push in the clutch and there's that little pause while you're moving the gear shift to the next
hmm,
gear, and there's this pause, and that's what this feels like to me, like we're, you know kind of
we're
inching
going into
forward.
transition
Thing
to the next
Yeah,
gear.
things are kind of dripping out, and so yeah, it's really an exciting time when you can get out of the fear mongering, or it's easy to, you know, I guess people see whatever they see on their nightly news, and they come to work or they're with their friends and they're talking about this and the other. And it's like, but it's not true. Ask yourself that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced that's not Johnny Depp. That's not Johnny Depp. Now, that might sound crazy to you, but that's not Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And why do we get in our society so hung up on these Hollywood celebrity types?
Because they're the ones that are put in front of us
Mm.
on
And
the social media or media outlets.
a lot of that is coming forward that's pretty creepy.
Okay, what is that?
Well, the John Walsh thing with
Mm-hmm.
Adam, and how he built an empire on, wanting to seek who killed his boy, and it ends up he trafficked his boy for money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, One of the craziest things I've heard lately, and I don't really never, she was not on my radar, but that Katy Perry is a grown up John Benet Ramsey.
What?
That again, that was all part of child trafficking and some kind of false report. Just crazy things like that. And again, I don't know. I've heard that recently. I already told you about Fauci and Mother Teresa.
Yeah, I don't think you told that to the public though.
And Mother Teresa was a man and Anthony Fauci's father.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You put a picture of them next to each other. There's some book, The Real Anthony Fauci. I'm not sure where you get it, but I was hearing about it through the Truckers Convoy. One of the other things that the Tin Hat community would tell you is this Truckers Convoy has a lot bigger impact on what's going on with this dismantling of a corrupt government. And so, like the children that they're finding in these underground tunnels, that the truckers are helping them get them where they need to be healed in med beds to heal
Mm-hmm.
their trauma. So, so yeah, it's who knows, but I think that Scorpio triggering this lunar eclipse over the next 6 months, we're going to see more and more government scandal come out to the light.
Let me go ahead and share my screen, and you are absolutely on point. Let me show you something.
Mhm.
This is so strange, guys.
I know, it's freaky.
Hold on, let me share my screen. Let's see here. How do I do this? Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Let's see here. Boop, remove. No, not that one. Okay, hold on. Let me try this one more time.
I'm
This,
so glad to see that your people in your chat are into all of this, because it's nice to have people that don't call you crazy.
oh yeah. Let me see here. Share screen. Let's see. Easy share with two. I have two monitors, so. Oh, here we go. All right, guys. Do you see this?
Look at that.
Now, let me see if I could do this full screen. Do you see the similarity between Anthony Fauci and Mother Teresa? And look at the head tilt. Like, come on.
Cray cray.
They look the same. I don't believe that.
Well, when I heard it, one of the things that confirmed it was, if Mother Teresa had been a woman, she would have never allowed the trafficking of the children that the Pope and the Vatican has done for hundreds of years. And um, so, yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm
it's,
still like looking. I'm like, what the heck?
I go back thinking about all the humanitarian things that he was propped up in front of us in media that did, and just held her in very high regard. The whole
Hmm.
Mockingbird media, hook, line, and sinker. And when I first heard that, it did ring true. But it's heartbreaking that all of these things that we've believed our lives, Disney, Walt Disney was an absolute freak. I've been looking for his birth data,
Did you see that Disney was actually having issues too? Like they were having like protests outside the freaking gates.
and they were having flooding because there's tunnels underneath there. It's a huge child trafficking hub.
Hmm.
There are
Oh, and I
submarine.
also recently saw that Britney Spears actually got out of contract with Disney or something.
Right. They didn't want her.
So, oh man.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the whole point is, you know, to not stick our head in the sand, to be open minded that things are going to blow us away, to use our discernment, because there's bad information mixed in with good information. That's why, tapping into, the scorpion instinct. What does your instinct tell you? What's the feeling you get when something hits your brain? If it doesn't feel right, I love Judge Judy used to say, if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. And there's a lot of practicality in that statement. If it doesn't
hmm.
make sense, it must not be true. So and the other thing that I feel like I'm seeing more of on mainstream media is the cloning. Some of these people who've been cloned and they're breaking down.
Well, I've noticed that AI is more mainstream these days, and they're actually showing how they're being produced and how realistic they're actually
Right.
looking, like 3D printed, like AIs, and how they're speaking and stuff. And I'm like, what the world? Mm. Like,
Well, coming from, when you have lived your life very scorpion and somewhat judged or always felt like you didn't fit in because your feelings or instincts were different than what was comfortable for everyone.
hmm.
This is a very exciting time to me. I just wish it would come out faster, because it's been a long time coming that we need to make things right. And, that whole going back to 1,000 years of masculine energy on the Earth's axis, shifting to a feminine polarity. So
Hmm.
that shift began in the year 2000. And that's another thing that our bodies are responding to is this very slow shifting of our planet, if you believe it's a sphere.
Right.
So
Well,
that's a
what do
whole
you
nother
think?
thing there,
Here, or do you think it's flat? What are your thoughts?
I'm
Or a
going
disc?
more with we're under a firmament. I am going more with that. It would make sense. And
So you
I'm
think
feeling
it's
somewhat, I've been an astrologer since I was 10 years old. It's been my life in a language that has given me a lot of comfort. I've traveled all over the world with it. I know that I've helped people with their charts, figuring out insights that they weren't getting other ways through counselors or the medical community. And if there comes a day that I have to say that it's all, because I saw this article about there's a whole lot more planets than have ever been exposed. What does that do to, I mean, so at that point, astrology just becomes like a cultural language. Um, uh, that it's not really based on astronomy, because the way I was always taught is 2,500 years ago, astronomy and astrology were one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it was with the birth of Christianity that it broke off to be between astronomy and astrology. Um, and there's always been a lot of debate around that, and everybody has their different opinions.
I
But
guess the astronomy is the scientific approach, and the astrology is more of the
spiritual,
spiritual.
yeah.
Hmm.
But if
And
you
the spirituality was conflicting with religion,
right,
right?
right,
And so they wanted to control religion.
right,
And so they made astrologers witches
right,
or whatever,
right, around
demonic.
the town square,
But but the ones that were actually religious, so-called religious, and had religions were the demonic ones.
right, right. It's a huge cluster. And you can look at it like I look at that piece right there. If there's going to come a day when it's exposed that it's not been what I thought it was,
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to accept that. And I think that's where we're all heading towards, is all these beliefs like about Christmas or holidays or traditions not being what we thought they were, and all the memories that you make with family and friends to celebrate things. And it's all been some kind of big manipulation.
Well, it's
um,
all a part of consumerism, which I mentioned yesterday.
yeah,
It's all a part of the master plan.
keep you materialistic, so
Hmm.
you're not paying
And
attention.
dependent, and
Yeah,
relying on government, to
right,
supply need for demand in
right,
regards to, okay, well, we have a calendar year. This is, we have these certain holidays. This is what we plan for. This is where
right.
we market, how we're
Consume,
going to push out
consume.
products and stuff, to kind of keep the revenue going.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up, because that's another part of the mixture of these energies is leaving materialism behind. Like,
Hmm.
part of the learning of the dark night of the soul is that material things do not fulfill us.
No, they're
And
material, and it's like the devil, like flashing gold in front of your face. Like, who look at this? And then you kind of like, oh yeah, and then you're like, what the heck? It's like dust.
my office had an outing last week, and they took everybody to a baseball game.
Hmm.
And I hadn't been to that particular stadium, and I can't even remember when. So it's kind of fun to get out and do something during the day, like, during the weekday. And it was just sort of a way they bought tickets for everybody to kind of socialize. And so I'm sitting, I'm getting to know my boss better. And, I'm really like, um, I'm just a different generation. I'm an older generation than she is. So
Hmm.
we're just learning how to
You're learning her, and she's
communicate, right?
constantly
It's
learning
about
you.
communication. And
Hmm.
so we're sitting next to each other, and they are right in sync with all of this tin hat conspiracy theory that I study and feel very interested in. And she made the comment, she said, you know, what government doesn't realize is that we are all capable of taking care of ourselves. We can, make our own food, and we don't need them to take care of us. And then my point was, another thing they are learning is that we're armed. America is the land of the free. I mean, we're supposed to be the um, the land of dreams. Where
Hmm.
you're free, and um, you're not under a tyrannical or dictatorship like a lot of countries. And so uh, I think I think the shift is happening to the light, but
Mm-hmm.
it sure has been some really dark stuff, you know.
Well, I think that with this full moon that we're having, it's definitely putting the light onto the darkness. I've
In
been,
Scorpio, that is the private detective, you know, that is the forensics. Like, I bet if we really set out to research, there's probably, maybe with that Twitter deal with Elon, is like forensic bookkeeping, forensics to track down corruption and embezzlement within companies.
mm-hmm,
Because that's what Scorpio does. I mean, it digs deep into what's dark and happening because it wants the truth, right? And that's, I think, what, all of us here are here to do, is to help people who maybe are less spiritual and more materialistic cope as this stuff, it's dripping out. It's excruciatingly how slow it's coming out.
mm-hmm,
But I think that part of our mission here at this time is to help people.
mm-hmm.
It's not about anything egotistical or prideful.
Or controlling or instilling our personal beliefs
Right,
on other people. And especially coming from a Scorpio, we mean well. We're not trying to control, what we say is truth. We
right.
don't want you to hurt anymore, but
And
in order
sometimes the
to
truth
do
can
it,
sting. Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna
sometimes it's got a
hurt.
little stinger, but once you get the sting out, you're better having known the truth. Even
Mm-hmm.
though, again, you go through that fire, it's like you have to burn that darkness off, um, to get to a more enriching, meaningful navigation of this wild and crazy Beetlejuice kind of world, right?
Right. Sometimes, it's like it's hard to tell like what is real and what is really fake. And
Right.
I'm starting to feel like it really, basically, the Matrix. Like, you
Yeah.
can't, I don't know, there's a blending or a blur. And I
Or
don't know if it's because of technology. Technology is really getting better. And
I think you hit on it too, about the whole, like, multi universe, like parallel
mhm,
timelines collapsing,
mhm.
the time loops that we get stuck in, and that's a big part of this next 6 months, is a
I really
shift.
feel it's going to
Yeah,
be a big shift.
yeah,
I already seen like newer forms of technology that is coming out from Elon's side, and I'm not exactly sure what other people are doing, but honestly, a part of me feels that his overtake on Twitter is a part of his propaganda,
yeah.
to like push out his products. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm all for freedom of speech and
Right.
stuff, and that's noble and great, but there's an ulterior motive behind it.
Well, and here's another angle that's not so nice to look at, is the total inequality of wealth distributed amongst people in the world. Like, this world is abundant. There's no reason why there should be people homeless on the street or children
Mhm.
starving. And that's part of that corrupt manipulation. And when I think
Well,
about,
it's that. It's also the consumerism too. Like, you have to
mm,
buy this or you have to do this to sustain a living. And there's taxes, and we're being overtaxed
right,
right now. And then there's inflation and all this crap.
right,
And it's like the rich gets richer and the poor gets poor.
they try
So,
the manipulation of the distribution. And I think that that's part of, that stinger has to, like, when you get stung, it
it
hurts like
hurts.
hell, and then you pull the stinger out, and it's
Well, you
not
hope
so.
it goes away. Unless you have an allergy reaction, you're like, oh,
Right,
fuck,
right.
I need to go to the doctor. Like,
uh, you know um I'm fascinated by this technology for the medical beds and, helping people. So, because they've made us sick with the food manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
And, so for that to all sort of be dismantled, to be rebuilt, to help us have nutritious food and medical technology that um, heals what they've been doing to us, and especially trauma through the human trafficking. That particularly is so deeply disturbing and very scorpionic. And
Mm-hmm.
it amazes me that it's gone on so long. And that's where I wonder,
Well, I really feel like it's because the control of the people who knows what the hell is going on, they're allowing for it to happen. And everybody who is under that umbrella, okay, they know what's up, and everybody's on like some sort of oath
or
or
like when you were
something.
talking about that food made you feel kind of spacey. Like if they've been putting all this bad crap in our food chain, so we're just kind of walking around like the Walking Dead, going through the
Mm-hmm.
motions of, work for the paycheck, pay the rent, you know.
No, and then you wonder, why do you feel brain fog? Like, why, why do you feel like, like loopy or something? Do you have to take, painkiller or aspirin, or is it like medication to kind of like, fix, and is that a part of like whole I mean, like pharmaceuticals, to get a
Right.
piece of the action on that, you know? Anyway, I don't want to talk about that.
Well, I pulled out, let's see, I pulled out these. These are an interesting deck. Cue
Oh,
cards.
oh, okay, yeah.
This
I
is a
don't
real,
have anything like that.
these are so weird. And I was thinking, these subjects with Scorpio is so dark. We need
Mhm.
some levity. Yeah, we need some
Something
humor.
light.
And these cards can be really funny. And did you have some you wanted to pull? What
Light.
is
I only have those bunny cards. Look, let me see. What's a
what
good
was the
light?
ones that you just picked up when you had the heart and the feather on the
Oh,
skate?
well, that one is a little bit okay. Well, I guess I'll pull it out. It's the law of attraction
Let's do
tarot.
that.
Okay,
'Cause
we'll do
these
that.
will give nothing but a sense of humor. There's no real deep
Okay.
message through these, but they will bring some levity to this somewhat intense energy to give us a laugh.
Okay. So, what do you want to do? Like general energies, or you want to go zodiac signs?
What does your intuition tell you?
Well, I've been roasting everybody this week, ripping everybody a new one.
Well, I think people really like it sign by sign, don't you?
Yeah, let's do that. So you
Okay.
want to do like one card per
Yeah.
thing, and okay, yeah,
And it would be Aries first.
okay, let's do that.
And our general question will be like for each sign, what might the next 6 months represent for them
Okay, sounds good.
for the this eclipse?
So for Aries, okay, I have the devil.
Oh, and we had that Mars in Aries. So I get cha cha cha.
Okay.
So this is movement and kind of dancing around. This would be kind of a procrastinating energy.
So it's good to move in, don't stay stuck in a devil like energy, kind of face your shadows and get out, right?
Yeah, cha
Like
cha
it's
cha.
cha cha cha
Get moving.
and don't cha cha just for
Maybe
fun.
actually go dancing.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Okay.
So then we have Taurus.
Taurus. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to multitask. Taurus. Bing. All right, so I have here 10 of wands, and it is in reverse.
This is avoid obstacle, the black cat.
Oh, very interesting. So, maybe avoiding this situation that maybe someone's trying to hold on to a situation because this is the Ten of Wands. That means letting go of something that's just too heavy,
Which
right?
is really very Taurian for what the energies are, where what Taurus is doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that, don't procrastinate. Don't be stubborn and prideful,
Yeah,
Taurus. You can be so stubborn sometimes.
just do it. Like, get it over with.
Right. Gemini would be next.
Okay. Uh-huh. I have here Four of Pentacles, and it is in reverse.
Ooh, this is bullseye.
Oh, interesting. So, I guess, if Gemini, are you not feeling very stable? Maybe they lost something. It's time to keep your eye on the prize from I can feel, right? Especially if it's dealing with money. Um, I
And
really feel like,
also, they're getting ready to have their solar return. So bullseye would be, this is their empowerment time of the year when the
mm-hmm,
sun returns to where it was when they were born. So that's generally a spotlight of high energy and maybe taking care of some finances they've been procrastinating about.
yeah, before your birthday comes around.
Maybe getting money for their birthday.
Yeah, I think they have to. So what I'm feeling is that since we're in Mercury retrograde now, go ahead and change out your passwords.
Yeah,
I really feel like it's time to kind of,
get
kind of,
organized.
yeah, just do, yeah, because I mean, I've been doing
Focus.
some stuff.
Like bullseye would be focus your mind,
Yeah.
focus.
Okay.
Because Gemini can be a little spacey sometimes.
Yeah. So, okay, after Gemini is what, Cancer?
Cancer.
Okay. Where is Cancer? Okay, there. So for Cancer, I have Six of Pentacles, and it is in reverse.
Ooh, I have cut ties.
Interesting. So, what about like not being able to deliver?
This to me, family is all about Cancer, and it's hard to cut ties with someone you're close to, but they're bringing you down or being very negative.
Maybe feeling like, they're not good enough.
Or it
Just,
could be, a relationship cut ties.
I would say just cut it off. I mean, just like, what, Taurus or whoever we just did, a Gemini.
Yeah.
Gemini, change your password, get over whatever your financial woes are. Get
Well,
with the
and
program.
with a full moon, that's the end of a cycle. So we're on to um, a new uh, beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So cutting ties with that which no longer serves you and starting something fresh. Cancer has a bad way of being maudlin and sentimental, right? It's hard for them to
Mm-hmm.
let go of things.
All right.
So
That's okay. Let go. It'll be all right.
it'll be
Scorpio
all
will help
right.
rip off that band-aid for you,
Better
okay?
things will come.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're up to
Leo.
now. Okay. Oh, well, I see Two of Cups, but it's in reverse.
Oh, this says power.
Huh, maybe what having the power to let go of like
Control.
relationships or situations that ain't working.
Yeah, have a cup of tea.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
That's another thing about this eclipse time is really slowing down, really
Mhm.
being in the moment you're in. And if that's a dark moment, deal with it, just being present in your life.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So then we have Virgo.
Virgo. Let's see here. There we are, Virgo. Well, I have here the High Priestess, but it's in reverse.
And I have passion.
Wow. So what I'm getting with this is that I don't know, maybe being secretive, that you're being passionate about something burning you with desire, or
Burning
like,
desire.
or energy.
Hidden burning desire.
Right.
And that's a
Maybe you don't want to think about it. Like, what's up with that, Virgo? Why are
because
you overthinking
their
it?
whole thing is about they procrastinate horribly because they want everything to be perfect, and there's no such thing as perfect.
Right. Or are they overthinking how the passion's going to play out? Like, hurry up.
Analysis paralysis.
I mean, we're talking 6 months now, like that's your birthday. That's your solar return.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, guys. Okay,
Where are we,
Libra.
Libra?
Okay.
Oh,
What do you have?
mere seconds to spare.
Well, I have here Queen of Swords.
So this is like something, some bomb getting ready to go off.
It's kind of strange. I have two women over here, and this is the Queen. Like, maybe this is a truth between two individuals, and it's
A
about to get
truth
lit.
bomb. This is the
Yeah,
truth bomb.
maybe about the other woman or the other
Right.
man. Like,
Because, Libra has a hard time making decisions.
mm-hmm.
So that's almost like the tower card. Like if you're procrastinating and not moving along your path, the universe will, shake you up with a 2x4.
I know, and you have all 6 months to think about it.
Yeah.
Get it done now, okay, Libra. Don't
Yeah.
procrastinate
No
because
procrastinating.
you'll be doing this on your solar return whenever the next Mercury retrograde comes around.
Right.
Actually, I think it's going to happen in September, right? I don't remember.
I think that's what I saw today. I was
Okay.
looking at that. The next new moon is May 30th, and it's in Gemini, early degrees of Gemini. So,
Oh, okay. Oh, so are we going to get something at least? So maybe
well,
some
that's a lot more
communication,
about social media, social platforms,
more
disseminating
info.
information. That's Mercury, communicating and intellectual ventures, that air energy,
Okay, so more information coming
more
out. So
information. Yeah,
don't be surprised with what you hear and see on social
right.
media, as always. What's new?
Using the instinct to whatever is the truth.
Okay. All right. So after Libra, we have what? Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Okay.
Eek.
All right. We have here the Hangman, and it's in reverse.
Oh, and this is adventure and risk.
Dang, it's almost very similar, right? Feet up in the air.
I know.
I don't know. You go ahead because I'm stuck on
I
the
think
feet in the
that
air.
this lunation is really hard on heavy Scorpio energy people. If you have a
Hmm.
lot of Scorpio makeup, these are some hard few weeks to get through. Um,
I honestly didn't feel it until like I don't know, like 3 days ago.
that's about when I was,
Feeling it too.
everything ached, my head,
It was
everything.
just like a weird, like, what is this energy? Like, I'm feeling
Right.
like dumpy. And yeah, I think I messaged you. I said, I feel like
Yeah.
poo.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. I know.
the excretory.
I
Like,
was like pulling weeds and trying to work it out that way. And then I got so sore I couldn't walk.
right. Yeah. So I guess, you need a little time to kind of mull over whatever that you're going through, right?
Well, and the hangman is about having faith, and then adventure would be maybe there's a new venture or risk to take. And it's going to take a deep faith to step out of that routine or
The
rut.
comfort zone.
Mhm. Ooh,
Okay, sounds good. All
so
right. So,
Sagittarius,
okay. Seven of Cups.
attraction.
Wow. So, Sag, you have
Sag's
choices.
got it got going
I
on,
know. You got the fire.
and the electricity.
I know. Like, I don't know. For the next 6 months, Sag, I don't know. I think it's going to be okay for you guys.
What was yours again? The
What's that?
that was I was looking at what you got.
Oh, yeah. This is the Seven of Cups. And so this particular depiction is a little bit different. So there's someone that's carrying a crystal ball and they're saying like a wave, coming in.
And maybe this electrical energy is what it takes to manifest that
That pull or
yeah,
the
what's coming.
emotions,
Yeah.
of making a decision. Huh,
You
you
know,
got the
and
whole world in your hands.
yeah, the world is your oyster.
Oh yeah.
A lot of choices and good choices, maybe changing a job or um, home or something.
Yeah, I definitely do see it looks like global. Interesting.
People are starting to travel more, I've noticed.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Now I don't know if what they did to get there, but
Right. Well, didn't they announce that there's no more masks on airplanes?
well, I'm not talking about the mask. I'm talking about like quarantine.
Oh my
Like do
God.
you have to like go into quarantine for like a whole like
I,
10 days
I
to
think certain places you do. Did you
mm-hmm.
see where that passenger landed the plane in Florida because the pilot passed out?
No.
Yeah, didn't know how to land a plane, but landed it safely.
Oh, that's good. I guess we all need to take flight lessons just in case. All right. So after Sag is Capricorn.
Capricorn, the
Okay.
workaholic.
Yes, I already know.
Oh, look, we were just talking about planes. Pack your bags.
Pack the bags. I see here Virgo energy. This is the Hermit. Well, it actually is in reverse. So maybe you're getting out of, needing the time to really think.
Take a vacation.
Yeah, and just go. You deserve it. You work too damn much. I already talked about
That's
this
right.
Capricorn energy. I like it. I
I
want to
like
take a
it too.
vacation. That
A lot
sounds
of
like a good
people
idea.
were going to, but it didn't work out, did it?
What's
Weren't you
that?
weren't you going to take a trip and it didn't it fell through?
Well, I'm kind of glad because my daddy's in the hospital now, but maybe in June I'll fly
Yeah.
out. So I'm hoping. I'm
I hope
hoping.
your dad is okay.
Me too. It's just all kinds of stuff happening. So we are at Aquarius,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Oh man, Aquarius. We have Seven of Swords, and it is in reverse.
Stay in bed.
Stay in bed, okay. Wow, that's a very peculiar picture. Now, the Seven of Swords in reverse is, you know, deception, right? I mean, what are you doing in bed? Are you playing with yourself?
Or in bed because you found out about the deception.
Mm-hmm.
What else is in that card? It kind of looks like a flying carpet. I think the card is just old and worn out, but it kind of looks like a flying carpet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Going on, stay in bed. Don't. I guess.
Aquarius is all about outer space and
Yeah. So
space
maybe you need to
travel.
ground yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ground yourself. Don't overthink it. You're deceived. Like maybe this is self deception.
yeah.
So don't go anywhere for the next 6 months. Stay in bed.
Just take more naps.
There you go. That sounds like
Naps
a
are a good
hobby.
strategy for this energy.
Yeah, I concur.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I think Pisces is the last one.
Yes.
Okay. Three of Cups in reverse. Oh my God, Pisces.
Pop.
Pop
What's the
what? Like
opposite
what?
would say? Pop the cork. So this is about a celebration
So this is strange because with the Three of Cups in reverse is all about like getting over a heartbreak,
by
you know.
drinking.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Lay
Pisces
out the
likes to take a
bottle.
drink every now and then. So this is pop the cork
Yeah,
and
it's not that serious, you know. Don't procrastinate, right?
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, one day is okay, but not the whole 6 months.
Right. Right.
One leads to another.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We got to keep some levity because it can be some very intense energy with all of this going on, all the different changes of planets and signs and the aspects. So I think it's an exciting time and just, don't procrastinate. If you have a project or something that you've been thinking about doing, this is get it off the ground.
And also, I would say, do it for all aspects, including your love life,
Right. It's
Like,
more of a collective energy as opposed to an individual energy.
yeah. I mean, because even in this whole past week, I've been taking care of business, and I mean literally, like
Yeah.
it's just I
A lot
cannot
of
fathom.
intensified vibrations in the atmosphere. Eclipses trigger. They
Hmm.
trigger. It's kind of like a full moon times 20. It's more intense. It's more light. It's more gravitational pull.
Hmm. Okay. So I think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
No more lies is drinking.
I
Okay.
see that.
She's like, all right, I guess I'll get my liquor and on and go back to bed.
Well, when I see pop the cork, I think about champagne.
Hmm. Or wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people love wine other than liquor and
Right.
beer.
Right.
And wine, and when I drink wine, I can feel it. It's like medicine. I can actually feel wine slowly. Like I can feel the whole like absorption of wine going all the way down. Like seriously. And it's like, oh my God, what is this? It's such a strange feeling, but
It
I'm
seems like
allergic.
one of the big trends are the microbreweries.
Hmm.
All of the different malts and barleys and people making their own ale and lager and um, that seems to be a trend for uh, taking parts in spirits.
Oh yeah. Back in North Carolina, we had a couple of those. But I lived in a military town, so there was nothing but bars, restaurants, titty bars. That's
Oh,
what we had. That was it. Over here it's different. I actually see a lot of other stuff, not titty bars and restaurants. Yeah, just basics. I guess there's necessities, three major things that you need in a city.
I
But
guess in Washington there's a lot of nature
yeah, we
things.
do.
Yeah.
We have a lot of like parks and trails and stuff like that. And now for the ones who brave the cold, like seriously, they'll go out on those trails and run it. And I'm like, no, especially in the rain. People like to run in the rain, and I'm like, why? Like,
I know.
it's cold. Like, aren't you cold? No, they're out there with shorts and they're running, and it's cold. And I'm
More
like,
power
okay,
to them.
yeah, I'm not built like that.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
It's still cold up here too. Let's
It's
see
still
what
cold here. It's
it
supposed to
is.
rain and be cold all weekend.
I don't even know what the temperature is, but it's kind of cold. Oh, look, stocks went up. Um, 52 degrees.
Let's see. And here it is, I can't believe it, 66 degrees.
Okay, not too far, but at least you're kind of close to 70, and that's a good thing.
Well, tomorrow it's supposed to rain and be 78. So it's kind of a humid rain.
Mm.
Did I tell you that my yellow squash and cucumbers that got exoed by the cold snap, they're
Hmm.
coming back. They
That's a
had
good
died
thing.
down to the ground, and now there's like new growth coming out of the ground.
So, do you think that what was it, Persephone helped you out there, or whoever she was, the one
Yeah,
on the underground?
yeah.
That's a good thing.
Those are some strong plants, they came
Yeah,
back. Yeah, that was the old life, death, life cycle.
yeah, that was a short stint. Like,
Yeah. But I wonder how much they'll produce. I mean, it may still like kind of stall how much they produce.
I my flowers aren't really growing optimal. Like I have like the ones from last year starting to bloom, but I have big ones, and I forgot the name of the particular flowers that they are, but they haven't even budded.
I've been working out in my mind how to get your bay tree to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
when the timing is right, it will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think how I received plants is if it's in a pot, they actually mail me the whole pot.
Right. What I'm trying to do is get it started, like get a small one started and
Oh,
established. And then I've received plants that way. So
uh
that's kind
huh.
of what I'm trying
Okay.
to, yeah.
Well, yeah, you can experiment whenever you feel like
Yeah.
you can. Hmm.
Yeah. I haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
Bay leaf tea is a very good tonic, you know.
Well, the reason why I was interested in bay leaf is because I wanted to put in my sage wands.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I like bay leaf
Well,
and.
I can certainly put a bunch of bay in the box with the little tree to get you started with that.
Okay. I mean, okay.
I've got like a big tree of bay.
Oh, do you?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't mind a few leaves if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really weird. It got really tall. Like after 20 years, it was probably 20 feet tall.
Mhm.
And a really harsh winter, it just died back. And then I cut it on really almost to the ground.
Mhm.
And about 3 years ago, it started coming back. And I think now it's probably about, I don't know, a little over 5.5 feet tall
Okay.
from
It's
nothing.
taller than me.
Well, at the base of it is all of the stump from where the old tree was.
Mhm.
So another life, death, life cycle.
Mhm. Yeah. You burn bay leaf with intentions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That was the whole intention for me putting it in the sage wands.
Those rose wands you made are beautiful.
Well, thank you. Yes, I have it. I have one right here in front of me.
I love that.
I'll
So
send
you
you
hang them up you've got eucalyptus in there
one.
and
Mhm.
what's the, I can't think of the name of the little piece of wood.
Oh, this is Palo Santo. It
Santo.
also has a stick of cinnamon in here to make it smell nice. Also, it has sage in here and rosemary, and just the baby's breath is just for visual. Um, and then
Very pretty.
rose, yeah, for the rose scent. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You've been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy. I've actually been making sage wands, but this weekend I am going to make jewelry.
Uh,
And I just received what I've been waiting for this whole time, and it is a moon.
Oh, neat.
So I don't know if I'm gonna do like this, or should I do it like
Do you
that?
have many of them?
No, this is the only one. I waited a long time to get that piece.
Oh,
And then I have little baby, and I forget the stone, like labradorite. I don't know what they are, but
labradorite.
I have these, and they're tiny, tiny little moons.
Look what you talking about. That's labradorite. Look what I got.
Oh yeah, so I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
It's
I
very
bought this to be a paperweight on my desk.
yeah. So I thought that this came pre-drilled, so it's not. So now I got to figure out how I'm gonna um, wrap this. But yeah, I actually have other pieces that I haven't really tapped into. And let's see here. I'll show you because they're beautiful. This right here.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
Um,
piece.
yeah,
Look
it's
at
really
that.
pretty. It's really reflective, and I know that this doesn't do it justice, but I have that and this one.
Oh, yeah.
It's silver. I don't know if you see it. It
Yeah.
reflects. It's silver and black. It's called a cabochon. Um, I don't know. I always
It's
want to call it
big.
labradorite, but yeah, this is a big piece. So I didn't know if I should do like a necklace
Yeah, that would look
or
nice.
maybe like a big bracelet. I don't know.
I think that'd look pretty as a pendant necklace.
Pendant. Yeah, because you can see how big this thing is. So
I know.
I
Would
was
look
thinking
good on
about
you like that. Yeah.
like a big one.
Yeah.
And let's see what else I got. And I have some other basic pieces. This is a onyx.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's just basic black. So I wanted to like this obviously is going to be like a necklace. Anyways, yeah, yeah. I already made this rose. I mean not rose, heart shaped one that I
Oh,
was working
yeah.
on. Again, I forget the name of the stones, but I know that I bought it with intention and purpose when I found it.
It's
So
labradorite, isn't it?
I don't know. I guess I was gravitating
It
towards
looks like
labradorite.
it.
I don't know, but I thought it was pretty and reflective and shiny. And
Let's see.
so I just have to create the necklace part for this. But this one is almost ready.
All right. Let's see here.
So it's blue. Let me see. Well, maybe I could find it where I actually got the thing from.
It doesn't make any sense how this index is set out to me.
Let's see. Mm-hmm.
Kyanite. Here, labradorite.
Yeah, it's a labradorite. It is.
So
Oh yeah,
it
that
has
looks.
all that iridescence in it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Hmm.
So it's highly mystical and protective stone, bringer of light. It raises consciousness and connects with universal energies. Labradorite deflects unwanted energies from the aura and
Hmm.
prevents energy leakage. It forms a barrier to the negative. So that's
Maybe that's why I was so
really
gravitated.
appropriate.
I was like, ooh, look at that, I want it. So I got it and I made it into like a jewelry piece. So yeah, that was fitting. That's why, I always, whenever I get these pieces, I get it with intention. So yeah, that actually makes sense.
So, are there
Okay.
any questions in the chat?
Do the ladies interact with the chat?
I don't know. Do we?
Oh, are you talking about us? Are we ladies? I could be a blonde sometimes, guys. I don't know what the heck.
I
Ladies.
know.
Like, what?
Sometimes I'm scared to look.
Uh, guys, just letting you know, okay, I can't look at, well, I don't know, sometimes I can't multitask a lot. So
Right.
I'm not like looking at the chat all the time, but
That's me.
yeah,
I get
sometimes,
distracted and then I lose my train of thought for what I'm trying to
yeah,
do.
and it's because like the chat is like for me, it's all the way over here, and my monitor size is like really long, like
We're
wide.
happy to meet you too, Jimmy. Thank you for joining us.
Yes,
We get
yes,
kind of wild and crazy here sometimes.
yeah, sometimes,
We kept it mild tonight. I mean,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Taurus was kind of hard to follow up, and we could have really gone down some rabbit holes tonight, but
Yeah,
I
but I
think we
think I
will.
already did that with the
Yeah,
collective earlier, so we don't need to do that.
we're learning moderation. That's what
Yeah,
Scorpio learns. Yeah, we're
there you
being
go.
moderate.
I have
Yes, I
Indian
am.
blood.
My dad was Cherokee. His
Oh,
mother was half Cherokee, so then he was a fourth Cherokee.
oh,
Whatever that is. We used to tease each other about what kind of Indian blood we had. So I love
Cherokee?
Native American stuff.
No, no, that's good.
Yeah, grew up with it all my life.
We're connected.
All good. I am a strong woman. Whoa, man. Whoa, man.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's kind of how these energies are. Whoa.
Whoa. Oh, I think most of us are strong women here. No, he's different. He's a whoa man, not a
Yeah.
woman. There's a difference.
With all of the changes of planets shifting in different signs and the aspects between planets, I wouldn't be surprised if people went through like feeling off balance, like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a
I was a
lot of
little off
shifting.
kilter this
Yeah,
week.
a lot of shifting going on. Um, I wouldn't call it dizziness necessarily, but certainly
No,
some sort of whooshy feeling.
I was a taskmaster this week. I was not procrastinating. I was like boom, 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 like
I
on
think
it.
I was too, and I overdid it. Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's
I
like getting
overdid
it
it.
all done. Like I'm not procrastinating this time. uh, oh, you would like to heighten Indian awareness and art healing? Yes, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you feel very strongly, go for it. Is pointing to the left or half no problem with that? What does that mean? I don't understand. Do you understand that one?
Is pointing to the left after half. No problem with that.
I think we missed something prior to
Yeah.
that.
I think there was something else that's what I mean, it's hard to like keep a train of thought and read for me.
Hmm. Born like that curved. I think I missed it. That's my blonde moment coming out. Um, good night. No more lies. Go ahead and have your rest, honey. She's the
Yes.
Aquarius.
We appreciate your energy here, all of you. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I hear a lot about that with the Indian lineage
Hmm.
culture about healing, like teaching children the spiritual healing. Uh,
Right.
and I think there was a particular tribe that was really important to pass down. Well, I mean, I guess all tribes have some culture to pass
Yeah.
down to their children. And this is, pre tech days, this is
Right.
I
The
think the
old
Indians,
ways.
yeah, the Indians weren't the Indians in control of the land. Like it was
Oh,
like the
yeah.
four different races. It was like the Buddhist monks was about I don't know. It was like wind, um, water, air, and
Wood
earth or something
and
like that.
iron.
Or was
Isn't
it?
it metal, wind, wood, and iron?
It was
Right.
something. I'm not very familiar with
I
with
think
the whole.
different tribes have different terminology, like metal or iron, wind. or air. Um, I have some really great cards that are Native American. Let's pull one of those.
You know what? I just received my crystal cards. They're outside.
These are the medicine cards. So the Indians
Oh,
were into, what animal spirits would teach us.
yeah.
So you decide what the question is, and I'll pull the card for us, and that'll this like is sort of a summary of all of our pontificating tonight.
Okay. Well, I don't really have a question. I think that if we pull one from spirit, like what spirit wants, I think that
Okay.
would be
So,
great.
what would spirit have us know more than anything at this time for the next lunations of 6 months? And we get ant
And oh,
medicine. So these are the workers that I'll
uh-huh.
tell you exactly from the book. Ants are workers. They take care of each other too. So that's a very community kind of energy.
Yeah, and it's a
People,
really important time, to really help one another instead of
do
like,
you know what it says?
what does it say?
Patience. So it always has like this little, where are we here? It always has like this little poem. So, oh, tiny ant, your patience grows like the sands of time. Can I learn to be like you, or is it too sublime?
That's so
Ant
cute.
can carry
And
a leaf over. They're amazing animals, you know.
uh,
Ant can carry a leaf over hundreds of miles just to get it back to the ant hill. Ants in Africa will strip a forest bare when food is scarce if it takes them a year. Ant's medicine is the strategy of patience. Ant is a builder like beaver, is aggressive like badger, has stamina like elk, scrutiny like mouse, and giveaway like turkey. Every ant is an ant hill. Every ant in an ant hill is part of the ant group mind, is all the ants work for the queen. Ant and the hive, self-sacrifice is a part of ant medicine. Greater
hmm.
than ants' other medicines, however, is patience. Ant people are active, community-minded folks who see the greater future needs of their town. Ant people are planners like squirrel and are content to see their dreams being built a little at a time. In today's society, that is a rare quality. In the desert, one type of ant will burrow a hole with its apex at the bottom. The ant will cover itself and patiently wait for some unsuspecting insect to fall in. As the sand crumbles, the prey eventually falls into the hole, only to find ants' open jaws. Patience does have its rewards. Ant people have a knowing about the sweet victory at the end of the line. There is never a concern about going without. If they are late for the opening of a sale, if what they want is sold out, they are sure that something equal or better is available. This is so appropriate from what tonight we've talked about.
Yeah, it is.
If you have ant medicine, you eat slowly and deliberately and are content in knowing that what is yours will come to you. This knowing is good medicine. It shows a trust in the universe to provide. So, if ant has meandered into your cards today, it is time to show a little trust and patience in some life situation. You may have forgotten that you will always receive that which you need at the time you need it most. It is not on the horizon or just around the next ant hill. You may need to use some strategy. How can you put into use your power of creation until, quote, it arrives, whatever it means to you at this time? Ant is working for the good of the whole. Are you? If you are, be assured that the whole wants the same goodness for you and that it will be provided. How
Mhm.
lovely. That's exactly the Scorpio moon lunar eclipse. It's really
Yeah, and
cool.
I was talking about that
I know.
again this
I know.
week. Patience.
Yeah. And patience is not, um, what did I hear us saying? It's like, it's not about being patient. It's what's your attitude while you're waiting.
Right, like be productive, be gentle to yourself. Don't get
You're
yourself worked
welcome.
up and you'll skate through life. It'll be all right.
We appreciate you too.
Yes.
I love the feedback and the energy that we create in our little chats. I love it.
Yes.
Very heartwarming. You can come together with a group of people and say difficult things and not be kicked out.
Yeah, at least so we think. Like, but we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Just like the ant spirit, patience.
Yeah, now we're building into this full moon because it's not until Sunday or Monday. So we
Mm.
are building into it. So it should be, I think there's probably going to be some firecrackers by midweek next week.
Well, we're gonna check in with you and see what else
Yeah, I owe
happens.
you some charts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys. So if you guys are interested in, with Sunny, um, go ahead and check her out. She has a website. It's lionmountainshealing.com. And if you're interested in booking a reading with her, and she could do your natal chart, to kind of give you, I guess, some intel, right, on what you need to know about what's going on with your life.
So,
And
so tips for spiritual practice this weekend would be trying to get near bodies of water,
mhm,
doing breath work, staying in the moment, paying attention to your breathing because anxiety is precipitated by we hold our breath, right? Uh,
mhm,
we're we're keyed up and we're tense and we're breathing shallow, and so it's about pay attention to your breath. If you can't be physically near water, taking
bath.
your salt baths are wonderful for clearing or showers. Um, so yeah, and I think the most important thing when this energy is shifting so many different ways and um, intense, Scorpio is intense. It would be, you know, going slow and methodically. Like don't be in a hurry to get somewhere. Take your time. Um, that helps with anxiety or PTSD or um, trying to heal trauma because that's what this energy brings up is trauma of the collective that we're trying to purge and transcend into the light, bringing up the dark and transcending it into the light. So even a meditation of just that, and knowing that you have to have both dark and light is the balance. So, but not carrying that heaviness in our hearts from past stuff that doesn't even matter anymore, whether it's from
Mhm.
this lifetime or other lifetimes. We're in a definite purging and clearing and elimination.
Right. Now I do see here, Kim Sherrill. She said that she lost a brother at 21, a husband at 35, her house burnt at 50, and her sister was hit in a wheelchair and died and took your inheritance. And how much more patient, I guess, patience, do I need for the things to change?
I wonder if she's Scorpio.
She, yeah, she is Scorpio.
Yeah. So, earlier we were talking about Scorpio is all about, you know, our whole life is the life, death, life cycle, and it's a deep
Hmm.
spirituality. And what you're learning is how resilient you are,
Hmm.
resilience, renewal.
Yeah, she had some very big major
Yeah, that's
uh, stuff.
really learning how to let go and not letting it um, fester in your
Well,
heart.
just letting you know, honey, Sunny has experienced very similar things as you. She's
Yeah.
lost, her family, her mother, her brother.
Oh,
Um,
so
yeah,
exciting.
she doesn't have family now.
And a business and a home
Mhm.
and a
Right.
husband.
And a dog or two.
So
I think you got those dogs. I don't remember, but yeah.
I got to figure out bringing Leon and Mojo on for a little chat some night. They're
Okay,
like,
guys.
they're so wiggly. I mean, it's not like they'll sit here nicely and participate. And maybe we can have them have a brief, a brief, they're just so
Intro.
darn cute, you know. And I
Mm-hmm.
think some of your viewers saw Mojo when he was what, like not
Little,
even 8 weeks old or something, and
like handheld.
now he's going on 8 months, and he's like
He's filled out. I mean,
15 pounds. I know he was
he's
a little scrawny thing for the longest time.
uh-huh. And he's built up with his
And
brother.
now, let's see, Leon is Batman. He's got his Batman collar, and I found Robin for Mojo. So it's Batman
Oh,
and Robin. Yeah,
okay, that's their other nicknames.
yeah. They keep me straight. So
Oh,
being born on under what I can expect, I must read recently had a major.
yeah,
So
it's a lot of
new
purging.
beginning. So the eclipse in Scorpio, how it will affect you is number one, be very emotional
Mm-hmm.
and purging all of that heartbreak to lighten your heart. So that's what we, the whole thing. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I don't feel vibrant. So I really appreciate that. Tracy, we have to go through the dark to get to the light, and whatever you do, don't deny the pain. It's about feeling it, allowing it to come up. If you need to cry, cry.
Mm-hmm.
Crying in the shower is very therapeutic.
Yeah, I've done it plenty of
Yeah,
times.
I think we all have,
Like, oh my God, okay, I'm good.
Yeah,
Towel
yeah,
off. Like,
yeah, yeah. And I think that's what a lot of a spiritual journey is about. And in Scorpio, this intensifies a spiritual journey.
mm-hmm.
And being willing to sit with the pain and feel whatever it is you're feeling, and not beating yourself up because you're not in the sunshine. And, you know, uh, we have to be willing to sit with ourselves, and life sucks, or whatever the feeling is, this hurts, or, you know, the only way we can purge it is to feel it and get to the other side of it.
Right.
Yes. And we are sending you big hugs, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
It will get better, and you'll be stronger, and you are going through what I believe that we go through what we go through because at some point on our path we're going to help somebody else get through it, you
And
know.
I've seen you help many people
Mhm.
because
The
of
one
that.
thing that um you know this is so stupid, but it's coming to my mind to say, so I'll go ahead and say it. So if I had one thing to say to someone who would experience a loved one who's killed themselves, the thing I regret, and this is so Scorpion for me to say because it's somewhat maudlin, is when you get to their house or wherever they lived, go through the trash. When I, yeah, you might learn a lot because my brother killed himself and didn't leave any kind of note or anything. But at the curb was that week's where
Trash.
he had cleaned out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now looking back, I'm like, I bet I could have learned something. But I mean, who would think about that?
Right.
You know? So it's weird things like that. But we have to, I think we have to believe that we go through this stuff because it's left undone from another time, and we're going
Mm-hmm.
to help someone else on their path. But I think the biggest thing is we learn how resilient we are, how
Mm-hmm.
resilient our nature is. And that's the whole thing about the dark child and the light child within each person, and owning that, taking ownership for that.
Right. Yeah, it's a hard week,
Absolutely.
guys. But once you get through it, it
Right,
gets better.
right. And it is part of life. That's part of the human journey, is people are going to live and die. That is nature, and that is Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
It, I think, what is it? Albert Einstein had a quote: "Look deeply into nature, and you will understand more." And at some of my lowest moments, and I've had some really low moments, if I can be out in nature and just observe maybe an ant on a leaf, or a bud, something getting ready to open or change, there's something in our psyche that resonates to that. But we have to be still, right? We have to be still and allow that experience. We
Mm-hmm.
get real caught up in quicker, better, cheaper, getting it done, and our task list. And so this energy is definitely about being in the moment and working through whatever feelings come up. And
Mm-hmm.
the main thing is getting rid of the negative feelings about any pain or hurt. Yes, Kim, I stop and smell the roses. My mother always said that. I think it's one of the best wise pieces of advice we could have. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to ask Sunny before we cut this live off? Yes, someone says the video got cut off, but I feel like it's on our side, so it must be on their end.
Yeah, it's been acting all right tonight. Last time it was kind of flickering in and
Choppy.
out, but I've had internet problems all week here and at my office. So,
I think it's a wave. It happened on the West Coast a few weeks ago. Now it's on the East Coast.
it's the grid.
Yeah, you're growing flowers and it makes you feel good. Yeah, I think you and Sunny are soul sisters.
Yes. Yeah.
You guys are very similar. It's so strange.
I had an old friend visit me last weekend, and she's coming up the walk, and she goes, "Oh, your yard looks so nice." I said, "Yeah, but don't look at my house. My yard looks nice, but my house is messy, really messy."
So you keep the outside good, clean, but the inside dirty.
Yeah, pick your battles. But I get so much more relaxation, and
Outside.
yeah, yeah,
That's understandable because I want my plot of land and I want to grow a
yeah,
garden and get my hands dirty and stuff like that
yeah.
and be happy with what I grow. Don't you feel good like when stuff is growing? You're like, oh my god, look at it,
Um,
it's growing.
it
You're like,
thrills me. Yeah, it thrills me. It really does. My
I know.
grandfather was he was a coal miner, and he was just this really quiet, gentle man. And I learned a lot about gardening from him. And one of the things he said that I've never forgotten, and I was probably 5 or 6 years old when he said this to me. He said, the thing about a garden is every morning I go out in it and see what's changed. You know, there's always something that's changed. And, there's a lot to be said about life, because nothing ever stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
Change is the only thing that's permanent. And so the more we can navigate how we respond to letting go of something that we held dear, or um, pride and ego holds on to, you know, that person that betrayed you or whatever. All of these feelings they don't serve us. We have to um, move forward and always be compassionate, and looking out for how we can help others. This is a big energy over the next 6 months about the collective,
Mm-hmm.
how we can help each other, because there are there's already changes that have happened, and it's going to keep changing, and it's exciting, but it has to be that willingness to an open mind and not thinking that things have to stay the way they, in your chart, the more fixed you are, the harder time you'll have. And then people who have a lot of air energy, it's very easy for them to kind of,
Mm-hmm.
flow and go with the flow. So going with the flow, that would probably be my advice for the weekend.
Yeah, don't hold on to it. Observe it,
Yeah,
okay, understand it, and then let go. You
yeah.
know,
And try
and
to keep
just
a sense of humor about it all.
yeah, and if it comes back, then just deal with it again. I
Yeah.
mean, life isn't easy, but we got to take little doses of the bad stuff every once in a while, right?
Well, and I think there's something to be said for nothing ever stays the same. So if you're in a
Mhm.
really crappy period, one of the things or optimisms is, but it can't stay that way, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so, yeah, I really do believe this whole lunation is about looking both at the dark and light within each soul, um, and navigating that, not just pushing it under the rug.
Right.
You have to work at it. And I think the frustration comes when you get involved with people or groups of people that don't want to do the work. They want to continue some drama or saga or
Right.
facade. And, we're at a point in humanity where things have gotten very serious about, human dignity and morality and just our rights to be free and sovereign individuals. So we got to wake up and smell the coffee and help others, help others process. But wait a minute, I thought, Mickey Mouse really was a mouse. No, he was a perv. No, just came to me to say that. I
I'll
don't
tell you,
know.
my little mouse.
Yeah, Mickey and Minnie, what were they really up to? I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, journaling, that's a great idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to like write if you're really good at that thing, and then burn it, right?
And burn the letter. Yeah. And,
Mhm.
I've heard different things and I've done different things, but I had someone tell me, about the ashes from any burnt letter. You should take them away from your, wherever you live, right?
Oh,
I've heard, bury them, or I think scattering them to the wind, is it sort of drills home that idea that, we are part of one energy of light, water, and electricity. So not getting too hung up on beliefs of, well, if I don't, do this something
exactly.
bad's going
Like if
to
I
happen.
don't go out to the
Right.
mountain range
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to the north wind,
Right.
like
Right. 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 So being easy and open minded, I think helps
I
the
did
emotion.
that once. I burnt a little letter thing that I wanted to release and purge, and the ashes were flying all over the place, and I thought I was gonna burn the place down. I was like, and then there was another time it was raining, and I did it where there's a cover like out on my balcony, and then it was like, well, how do I just let it go? If I just do this in the daytime, is there gonna be like soot on my, and I'm just like, and then there's like bits and pieces of my letter that's like plastered all over the
I know.
place.
We really are funny people, aren't we? We
Yeah,
have to
like
keep
not
our sense of humor.
Scorpios think about that stuff,
I
like
Scorpios are
like
deep thinkers. Yeah, I mean, deep thinkers.
like
Too
if you
deep.
want to burn up the evidence, you better bring out the freaking gloves and the kerosene and
Yeah,
blow the shit up.
that's so funny. That's so funny. It's so Scorpio.
I know. Uh, when your husband died, I wrote a letter
Oh,
and put it in a bottle. Oh, that's a
that's
beautiful,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
message in a bottle. That's nice. Yeah. Oh,
Such nice people. We
I
really,
know.
I really appreciate everyone's time and energy to tune in. It's very healing. I feel for all of us to share our fears and our worries and our good times too.
I agree.
Yeah,
We have to be thankful that we have this experience that we're experiencing in the present moment.
and then
And
we can laugh. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We
I
can
know.
be crying and laughing at the same
Yeah,
time.
I know. Like,
It's an
oh my
amazing
God,
thing.
you know. But we're really resilient, and we can bounce
Yes,
back
yes,
up. You
yes,
know,
yes,
especially if you have Scorpio in your chart. So I concur, honey. Both Sunny and I have Scorpio in our chart, so we know.
yes, yes. It can be quite challenging, and this particular combination, has already been very challenging, and
Mm-hmm.
we're not even through it yet. So,
No, I mean, we'll have our weak moments, but we know it's like, now we're going to take our spiritual baths or
yeah,
go outside and dig in the dirt or,
yeah,
it'll be all right, guys. So,
it will. It always is. You can look back in times when you made it through something, and that you come out the other side. Just don't hold on to the hurt and pain. That only makes your
mhm.
body
Yeah,
ill.
if you really think about it, for the ones that crossed over, think about how they're much in peace. Obviously we're going through, we're the ones that are suffering because we
Right,
have feelings and we're attached to our bodies. But once
right.
you pass, you're not attached to a body. You're made of light.
And the
And
joy. Yeah.
yeah, and so they're feeling the love, and they just want you to, you know, I guess like really,
Be happy.
yeah, just do whatever that if you have any regrets that you haven't done, do it. You know,
It sounds cliche, and I think it was an old song, but be happy. Don't worry. Be
yeah,
happy. Wasn't that a Yeah, and that's so true. I think that's what souls that have crossed over that have been loved ones would say to us, that number one, they pray profoundly for our happiness, and
hmm
that we
yeah, because we can't do anything other than maybe guide them,
right,
in a spiritual way through dreams
yes,
or connection, in a metaphysical way, but we can't really be with you in a physical sense.
and
Um,
that's an illusion, right?
hmm
And I
But
think that's part of this next 6 month is illusion, illusion being revealed, and the whole, look over here while we're doing that, and
oh, there's a bunch of that. I was
yeah,
like, oh, okay, yeah, look at that. Woo. I was like, well, what else is going on? And then, the scorpionic energy pops on. It's like, okay, so let's see what's really going
right,
on.
right,
What's the least trending thing that is going, oh, how come we're not hearing about the war? Oh,
oh,
is
right,
that what that is?
right.
Okay.
And say the thing nobody wants to say, but everybody feels.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think, the most people are kind of aware, but there's still like a good
there's a lot.
number of people who are not, I don't know, they're still programmed
Yeah,
into conditioned
it
way of
is
thinking.
almost robotic.
Mhm.
And there's a good deal of drinking going on too.
Well, I don't know what the liquor store is making these days,
I'm
but
telling you, there's liquor stores popping up everywhere, and the vape stores.
oh, really?
Oh my God. There's like liquor and vape stores everywhere. And I'm like, they just
In
want to keep us
Virginia?
anesthetized. Yeah.
Aren't
Because
you
there's
in
been
like the
some
Bible?
lawsuits about this vape stuff, and whatever it does to the lining of the lungs is even worse than if you were smoking.
I don't know. We actually have head shops over here, so we have the infirmary.
Yeah.
we get to smoke that good
You get the
stuff.
real stuff.
Yeah, that strong whatever.
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Like, we need to get off. Right, it's getting late. What time is it over there, by the way?
1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I made it. I made it.
Yeah,
I didn't
you
think
made
I was
it.
gonna make it. I
Yay!
didn't think I was gonna make it tonight. It was looking pretty but I feel better. I mean,
Okay. As long as you feel good.
yeah,
I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute, it's 10 o'clock.
this earlier, this has been a rough week and
Mhm.
so yeah, but a little bit of laughter and good times and you can feel better just like that.
Mhm. Sounds like a plan.
Big hunky crystals. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
surrounded with like big hunks of crystals and stuff.
Clearing your energy.
Yeah, man. Got my aquamarine. Isn't that a
Mhm.
pretty piece?
Oh, I like that. That's a pretty piece.
Pretty big.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think it's going to be kind of a lay low weekend for me.
Me too. I honestly don't have much plan other than trying to figure out what comes to me creatively if it comes. But honestly, I haven't been doing much. Like just well, you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
other than the 3D matrixy stuff.
Yeah. And making a lot of product.
Yeah, well that too.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to look forward to getting my lavender and sandalwood.
Let me ask you this before I let you go.
Oh,
Okay, so the lavender and sandalwood is already in a polished form. The body scrub, body polish, but the body butter. What would you prefer? Okay, buddy, go ahead and get the nachos now.
yum.
I know, right?
I want
Um,
some.
I know it's getting like he needs an exercise. But anyways, um, do you prefer lavender and vanilla or lavender and sandalwood for a body lotion or a body butter?
What attracted me to that is I love sandalwood.
Okay, it's musky, so it's like a lavender musk. So you're
I
okay with
love
that?
sandalwood, yeah. And I love
Okay.
lavender too.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted more on the sweet side or the more uh, dark fragrance. Like, you know what I
I'm
mean?
not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch that.
I'm
You
just
your
saying,
intuition, yeah.
you know.
Let's see. I've read about sandalwood as a good clearing of energy.
Like
Yeah.
monks use it in their malas,
Mm-hmm.
sandalwood beads. It's like the basics, and it's really cleansing
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
spiritual reasons.
Right. Yeah. I think I have one of those diffuser things with the sandalwood oil, and so I really like that.
Okay. Yeah, I just had to ask before I make it. Now, the other, okay, here's my other question, and maybe I'll give you two different samples. Um, I'm going to experiment and do like a lotion. So you already tried my body butter,
Yeah.
okay, which is more buttery, okay.
Yeah.
And I've tried to make it where it's kind of non-greasy, but it still has like a little bit of a residue.
But it doesn't it goes, I mean, or
It
maybe
goes in the
yeah,
skin,
it
but
does penetrate really well.
I'm talking. This is my Virgo coming out, honey. So like, bear with me,
I'm
okay?
with you. I know. I'm here. No
So
problem.
I want to perfect this, okay?
Yes.
I know I actually got the chemicals or the chemical compounds to make the lotion version, and
Nice.
um and it's supposed to be good so that I don't have to pack it with ice packs.
Oh,
So I'm wondering, should I ship it to you with because you already know that you could pop it in the refrigerator and it'll
right,
harden up, and so it's not going to be that pretty swirl, but it
right.
works the same.
Right.
regardless of whenever it arrives to you.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is I'm gonna do two different ones.
I love
One,
being a guinea pig.
okay, one with the regular body butter and one as the lotion
Okay.
version. And then you tell me what do you think is better? Should I
I'll,
stick with the lotion or should I just keep my options? Like let everybody decide? Like I don't know. So
I'll send them on. I'll be
okay.
honest with you.
And then I'll have to find that stocking before I forget. I already have your
Oh,
box
right.
packed,
Right.
except for the butter,
Right.
and the stocking.
Right. I got one back today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I'm glad I
You know,
remembered that. I think that's a lot of fun. I don't know if anybody else does, but I enjoy stuffing a stocking.
no, I love that stocking. It had a bunch of stuff in there, and as a matter of fact, I think I have one of your pieces in here that you gifted me.
It was a dragonfly, I think.
Well, I have that too, but I'm talking about this.
Oh, your Venus pearls. Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it's
I love
beautiful.
it. It's really pretty.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look like a princess.
Looks
Anyway,
nice
guys,
on
it's getting late. Anyways, thank you for being my guinea pig, honey.
you. Oh, anytime.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you all for sticking around. It's like almost 3 hours into this reading or this actually this what do we even call this
We've had some
episode?
laughs.
Yeah.
Yes, we're just having a chat.
Yes. Thank you, not actually my name. Yes, I'm a pretty princess. That's my nickname. You want Palo Santo and sweetgrass chunky incense sticks, please? Okay. Let me write it down.
Like a good Virgo would, make your list. Then make a list of that list.
I am.
Be sure you go back and check off the other
I
list.
did. Don't get me started on it because I got my list right here. How
I
did you
have
know?
Mars in Virgo. I'm all about lists of lists.
Let me write it down. Hold on. Serious. I have to have my
Palo
list.
Santo and sweetgrass, chunky incense sticks. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'll experiment with that. Palo
You know
Santos.
what else I could send you that would ship easily? I don't know if you would use it in any of your stuff, but I have a bunch of lemongrass,
Oh,
Palo Santo and sweetgrass.
you grow lemongrass?
I have some dried from last year, even. I don't know why. It just seems to preserve well. I mean, it
Interesting.
would work
Yeah.
well as like a wrap,
Does
to
it
wrap.
smell? Does it still smell
Like
good? Like,
lemon.
yeah,
I'll
send
send you
some
some.
over if you can't. Like, I don't know how big they are though. Like, how big?
Um, well, it grows different heights, and then I kind of twist it around in a wreath. You know,
If you can, send me some.
yeah, I'm gonna do that. I have
Okay,
some. I
yeah.
don't know what to do with it, so I just when I saw sweetgrass, I thought, well, maybe you could use some lemongrass.
Well, so I've learned how to diffuse oils from
Yes,
botanical plants. Like
yes,
I'm actually taking a course on that.
right, right.
So I'll experiment and see what I can come up with, and then maybe I could transfer that oil to like a I guess a charcoal stick or I don't know what incense is made. I'll research it. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll give it a go.
That sounds really interesting. I
You want
need to I need to get some jewelry uploaded to my website. I've been
okay.
pulling it out, and you sent me a video.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll do that this weekend.
Yeah, I'll have pretty much open time. I mean, I'm not like super,
It's
clocked.
mainly the thing that takes time is cleaning it up and getting it described and photographed,
I
right?
know. Yeah, it is time consuming.
Yeah, but
That's,
I got the photo box, and I've been trying to figure out where to set up, where to work.
do
You
you
know,
have
like
another desk?
Um,
What I would do in your space, if you have a folding table, like a card
I
table,
do. Yeah.
okay, get that and dedicate it for your photo
Yeah.
area. So,
Actually, yeah, I do because I had some plants in for winter and now they're going outside. So I have a table. I was going to break it down, but I could use it for the photo box. I'll do that.
mhm, yeah, because I have my other desk that's over there, and I just do it for photos. And I use like a cardboard project, to do like
Right.
science projects and stuff.
Right.
I did the El Cheapo way, and
No, I got some of that too at first,
mhm.
but then I don't know. Came across a deal with some little kit, so I'm going to try
No,
that.
no, if you have the photo box kit, I know exactly what you're talking about. Those
Yeah.
look perfect.
So
Plus, you're
maybe.
just taking jewelry. It's a very small item, so you could bounce the white light off of
Hmm.
the corners, and so you're going to get all of that
And
cancellation.
they have
And
different colors of background you can mess around with.
oh, that's excellent. Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, I was buying construction paper,
Oh, yeah.
cardboard paper,
Yeah.
and I did mine like that. But yeah, you can do that, and then
Well,
I
maybe
guess
we'll do some creative projects this weekend. Not
okay.
work, but more creative things.
Well, I mean, if you want to work in the garden, I'm not gonna, penalize you for.
I want to, but boy, I did something to my neck.
Like, so you need to shift gears and just kind of stay put
Yeah, I
somewhere.
need to like just rest. I
No,
overdid
that's a good
it.
idea. That sounds good. Um, and Palo okay, cedar, sage, sweetgrass.
Yeah, those are all good ideas too.
Let me pull up my notepad. Cedar. I do have that in actual sage wands,
Yeah,
but I'll be creative and make incense sticks. How's that?
I think that sounds cool.
Okay,
Cedar,
okay.
sage, sweetgrass for negative
Mhm.
ions. We're
Sounds
just a
good.
proverbial, creative fountain of ideas here.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough time in
240
the
since
day.
yesterday. You want more cake? Go for the cake, honey. She's a Taurus, so she got to get her cake fix. I get it. Like, I want some cake too. After Mother's Day, I got like a bunch of sweets and stuff, and I gained weight off of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could live on cookies. I think cookies are the perfect food group, but
Yeah.
they're not healthy.
No, I can only eat one a day.
Let's maybe the oatmeal ones.
Oh, do I remember I had them chunky incense sticks? Oh, okay, the little ones. Girl, that was a limited edition. I came across those little fat ones, like, and I couldn't find them anymore. So I don't know if I can find it again. That was like a really limited edition item. But I'll figure it out. I'll
And
look up.
I have those stones that I have that I wanted to put on the website. So yeah, I need to get on that.
Okay, well, just let me know if you need help. Try to at least put one up, and if you feel like you can't, then we'll get on call. But
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys, we're talking personal stuff over here. But
yeah. No, that's good. We're using the energy. That's what we need to do. Don't let it beat us up.
I know, but we're going overdrive, aren't we? I gotta keep doing it. Like I gotta keep doing something. I can't keep still. Oh, we need to slow down. But I think that's I don't know. At least for me, that's like more of the Capricorn Virgo energy that I have in my
Yes.
chart where I'm constantly working. I can't stop working, guys. If
Yes.
I sit down, my mind is already thinking about the next project.
That's
I'm
good
like,
though.
no, it's not. That's why I don't have a man.
All
I gotta
good
think
things.
about the
What was
man. I
that
can't
movie?
even think
All good
about that.
things will come
Like,
in good time. All good things. What was that movie? All good things will come in their time.
well, I agree. I concur with that also. Maybe I'm not ready. Who knows?
Man, we've got some creative people here. I tell you what, I would love to make jewelry. I'm just going to try to sell some like vintage jewelry that I've picked up at auctions over the years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I usually have a gorgeous collection of jewelry. Every time I see you got like a new piece on, I'm like, dang, honey.
None of it's new. It's just,
Yeah, but like it's new to me because I've never seen it before. Like, you have so much jewelry.
it's
Like,
terrible. It really, I think I had a problem years ago. I just always, you could take me somewhere and I will go straight to wherever the jewelry is. I know I can smell it. Yeah. But
oh,
now I've gotten a little more, like I have some of everything, and now I'm more like I really just wear turquoise,
I've been
silver.
meaning to pick up some turquoise and mess with some of that,
I
but
love turquoise.
mhm.
And I don't know, at the auctions, I've picked up some really interesting custom made pieces. I have a ring that some lady in Chicago had made, and I picked it up at an auction, and it's um, plan- not platinum, but plantanium,
Ooh,
um, with rubies and aquamarine and a couple of diamonds. It's a very interesting piece.
yeah, it
It's
doesn't
in the
sound like it matches, but
it's
that's
it it's in the original box. It's like
uh-huh.
from the 40s, and her
Yeah,
name is on it. It's very. I mean, I just like old things anyway. So
antique.
when
Yeah,
they have a story to them, it's even more cool. But yeah, I don't wear it all, and I think there would be people out there that would enjoy it like I have. So I'm kind of getting ready, or have been ready, to let go of some things that just sit in drawers, and it needs to be worn and appreciated and give someone else some fun.
use out of it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get it.
that's my Leo side. I've always collected a lot of jewelry.
Lavish, lavish.
Love our accessories.
Mhm. Now, I have a question and I want to throw an idea to you. And I've been talking to this with my son. Okay, so as you know, I have my Scorpio moon intuition and I have my bath products, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they don't know me. I do tarot also. And let's say that they want to gift, my products to someone. They're like, where did you get this? And then they trace it back and it's Scorpio moon, right? And they're like, tarot. Now, as you know, there's some people who are not into that stuff, like
They have a
so
judgment about it for sure.
right. So I was thinking about I've already purchased, I guess purchased, but I already created a business name. It's SMI Beauty and Bath Company. Does that sound okay, or is that too uh mechanical? Like,
I
you know what I
like
mean?
it. I think it makes sense.
My
Is
son
it,
was like, SMI sounds like a factory or someone that builds like parts and shit. So,
well, what I like about it is someone's going to ask you what SMI stands for, and that would be the open door to, I have this other business, Scorpio Moon Intuition. So, um,
so okay. All right. So here's the other question. All right. Should self-care, beauty care? Yeah. I was gonna coin the term self-love is the best love,
I love that.
but but it costs money. And so let's pass on that one. I'll coin it until somebody really wants to. I'm tired of the trademark bullshit. Let's just
Yeah.
put it like that.
But
Okay, next. So here's the two choices, okay? Do you like SMI Beauty and Bath Company or SMI, beauty and body?
I think I would go with body because that opens up to more products, not just
Hmm.
bath products.
I know. It's like, but how far do I want to go? Like,
The sky's the limit.
I know. Because originally I did it because of the whole bath salts, bath bombs, and it's
Right.
really for bath purposes, and that was my focus.
Right.
But, I have a background in skincare and stuff like that, and I was thinking about doing more body sprays and, um, you
Well, you
know,
know what? I've been
cream.
using your butter. I've been using your butter on my cuticles too.
So okay, you've used it for a while, so tell me, how does it compare, like from before you used my product until now?
Well, you have to understand that my skin is really dry and I dig in the
Well,
dirt.
that's why, yes, honey, I'm putting, yes, go ahead.
Yes. But when I'm consistent, and that's my problem, is being
Mm-hmm.
consistent,
Consistent.
um, it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But when
definitely
you skip
helped.
out and you're too tired to rub it on, then
Right. That's
okay,
the
got it.
thing. Yeah. But I've definitely been using it on my elbows and knees.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I have extra time, I do put it everywhere else.
Okay. Now, I see some other people here in the chat, and Kim had mentioned Bath and Beauty.
Yeah, I like that.
So, do you think SMI Bath and Beauty is better than Beauty and Bath? The only reason
You had
why
didn't you have beauty and
yeah, I was asking too, but the name that I actually, submitted for was SMI Beauty and Bath Company.
bath with beauty? She's got bath with beauty.
Oh, Bath with Beauty. No, yes, no, what? Yes, what? No, yes, yes, no.
I like body because that opens the doors to like nail care, pedicure care. It's not just bath stuff.
I would have to swing it by my attorney because there is Bath and Body Works, and I don't want
Oh,
to get
right,
too close to because of one word variation, and it
right,
gets very tricky like that. Now, obviously, I put SMI. It's SMI,
right,
Bath and Body, and I'm not saying works.
right.
So I think it would be significantly different, right?
What did Kim have? Bath and beauty. Bath
Bath,
with
Beauty, and
Yeah,
that's.
beauty would also be a category of different products for the body.
Mhm.
Hair, you could get into a line of
So the
makeup.
thing about my body butter, okay, is that you can actually apply, okay, after you've put the lotion on and you still got a little bit of that residue, go ahead and use the rest on your hair
Oh, yeah.
because everything that is in that product is good for your hair.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like a chunky
And
amount.
yeah,
And it's going to actually lay
make
your
it
little,
smooth.
yeah, and your fine hairs, and it's going to like really like train it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
Mm-hmm. But I guess you can test them more whenever you get your packet, your care package.
Yes.
Um, okay, so let's see what else is people are saying. Like Bath and Body and Works has sprays. Yeah, I'm also thinking about doing candles too, but not now, because everything I work with has all the similar ingredients.
Soy candles are big. You know,
Mm-hmm. I burn candles all the time, so a part of me is like, am I gonna burn into like my inventory?
well,
Before I even sell this stuff because like I
and
could
then there's what was the other thing? The candles, the incense, those
mhm,
diffusers. Like if you do the extracting the oils or whatever, you could get into those reed
mhm.
diffusers. And you could there's just no telling what all you could do.
Yeah,
And I
because
think to a certain degree, the universe is going to present to you what to do because whatever your supplies are you need, I think will present themselves to you.
I think I'll spend some time over the weekend and come up with a variation of names because I have time to kind of change, my business license and stuff. And because I have it all, it's active, it's live. So I've already bought the domain names too for that. So,
Okay.
um, you know, but I'm open to other people's, opinions. Babe, I'm just not a good speller.
Well, and going back to talking about the using the energy or activities for this kind of, especially if you have a lot of Scorpio in you, these are challenging emotions and um, shifts. Um, Anything creative, you know, getting out of the head and just thinking, creating something. And
Mm-hmm. I
I
think
think
so
about,
too.
I have a idea I want to do with like junk jewelry
Mm-hmm.
and repurpose it into something else. And I just remembered that as we were talking. So
Write it down on your list, honey. You want me to write it down for you? Like,
let me get my post it. Where's my post it?
post it.
Here
You
it
need a
is.
you need a notebook like I have over here.
I have pads, notebooks, post its.
I'm gonna
I'm
write it
I'm
down just in
organized to
case.
the point I'm unorganized, if that makes any sense at all.
I call it unorganized chaos.
Yeah.
Organized chaos.
Because I think when we concentrate on creating art or something, it helps the nervous system. You know what I mean? It helps that tension and whatever it is that we are
And it
responding
keeps your
to.
mind off of whatever you're thinking about.
Right. Yeah. And you're
It
making
keeps you more
something
engaged
beautiful.
on something else rather than something that's keeping you
And
stuck.
everybody is trying to purge and get rid of stuff. So we are having to come up with creative ways to repurpose things.
And I don't think it's just like procrastinating. Like, oh, I'd rather do a project rather than face my shadows,
Right. Well, I think when you're creative, there's something that goes on in the psyche that helps you process those
Sometimes,
negative
well, I don't know,
feelings.
whenever I'm in a zone, I don't think about it. I'm all about the project and not about like whatever. But I mean, if it's important enough, I'll make sure I tackle that before
Yeah.
I get into it because I'm very task orientated, and that could be the whole Virgo, Capricorn in me. Like I have to like do things like the crappy shit first before I get to the fun stuff. Even though I want to get to the fun, it's like before I used to be really anal retentive. I have a process every morning. Okay, I wake up, I look at my fish, and then I get my morning coffee. I make sure I grind my coffee beans, guys. Okay, that's how a little extra I am with my
How detailed you are.
I need my ground coffee. And so I do that and I have my breakfast, either cereal or whatever. And then I come over to my shrine. I make sure I do my shrine, the whole thing with my shrine. I make sure my tree is being sprayed. I give it love every morning, And then I go back and forth. I feed my fish and I come back and I meditate for like, I want to say now I narrowed it down to like 15 minutes meditation. I used to do 30-minute meditation, but that
Yeah.
just got a little too much. And so I do 15-minute meditation. And then,
So helpful.
yeah, but even in midstream when meditating, my ideas are coming to me. I was like, okay. And so I have my notepad and I'm writing it down and I'm looking at the time like, okay, it's like 11 o'clock, like can't
Let's
stop
get the day
thinking.
going.
Well, I need to finish my meditation. Like, so yeah, that's how I roll, and I have to keep up with my list. And if I don't have the stuff done on my list, I get a little irritated.
Anxious. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's me though.
that's okay. That's
So I
part of
got.
this energy is that we get to know ourselves even deeper. You know, you might
Mm-hmm.
think you know yourself, but yet there's always some unfoldment, and not being afraid to, I don't know. Uh, I saw this huge groundhog cross the street the other day. It's bigger than one of my dogs,
Mm-hmm.
bigger than both my dogs. And I have this thing about critters. I really don't like critters around my house. I don't mind them out in nature, but he's been around my yard, and I don't know if groundhogs are aggressive to dogs or not. It would be quite a showdown between him and Leon. They're about this. He's a little bigger than Leon,
Groundhog versus dog.
and
Like,
that's over 20 pounds. So, I mean, but my point is, it's like, it rattles me a little bit to be disturbed by, you know, a groundhog or a snake, or, things that are out in nature. I mean, we shouldn't be afraid of that unless
well,
it's
I
red.
I have a similar story. So there was a bee here in my place, and I didn't open windows or doors, and I was so scared. I heard it was like, bzz, bzz, like buzzing on my window. I was like, oh my God. I was like sweating and stuff. I was like, oh God. I was like, how am I gonna get it? And me being a Buddhist, I was like, do I have a container big enough to
Oh
get this big bee? I didn't feel confident. So I actually got my vacuum cleaner.
my gosh. That was creative. I don't think I would have thought of that.
Oh yes, honey. It was big. And I was like, and it was a bee, but it was a brown and black bee. It was fuzzy.
You know what they symbolize, don't you?
What?
Irony.
Irony?
Irony, because it doesn't make any sense that they can fly. If you look at their weight and how they're balanced, their wings are much too small to carry that body. So
Yes, but this was an
bumblebees represent.
aged, big, fat bee. And then I sucked it up and I took it outside and I told my son about it. And he's like, you killed the bee? I hope you get karma. Bees are extinct. You know, they bring like
Pollination.
pollination. Yeah, they pollinate the food and what? Soup. You want soup? Soul. You want soul? What's chips?
I don't
Okay,
know
I
what.
think. Yeah, he's talking about Arizona now. Anyway, I have to go tend to my son. I need to see what he's doing in the kitchen.
I need to go tend to my dogs.
Okay. Well, we're gonna cut it off. You're laughing so hard. I'm glad we're here for your entertainment.
We've got to keep our sense of humor. Right.
Food. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. And again, if you guys are interested in booking a reading with Sunny, go ahead and take a look. LionMountainHealing.com. Thank you again, Sunny, for
Thank
being
you,
here with us
Scorpio
today. It's
Moon. Thank you,
always been a
your
pleasure.
viewers. Yes.
Yes, thank
We
you
always
all
have
for
a good
being
time. Yeah.
here. Okay. All right.
Talk to you
Bye,
soon.
guys.
Bye.